What's up guys, Houdini here and welcome back to Steel Rising, baby. This beautiful new Steampunk Souls Like made from the guys who brought you Greedfall. The team's name is Spiders. It's always like, damn, I don't like spiders, but these guys make some great freaking games. They're hard at work at Greedfall 2, but this is a brand new IP, a beautiful Souls Like. Their first that they've ever done, because Greedfall is kind of more Dragon Age action-y that. But this is a whole different beast, and my goodness, I think they've actually nailed it. The difficulty is just spot on. The setting is fantastic, and you know they're a French-based studio, so of course there's going to be a lot of love to their home country. And you can tell the people who make the costumes in the games are whoever they are over there at Spiders. They're doing an incredible job because wow, it immediately puts you right there. You know, we play as this beautiful marionette dancer named Aegis turned bodyguard, basically. And we seem to be able to have the power to think, to speak. So I think as we close in on the ending now, we haven't died to a boss yet, but they've been amazing. I think we'll learn some secrets about Aegis. Oh yes, is there a little bit something else going on? Is there a little bit of a ghost in the machine? A little bit of a soul? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Alright. Alright. Yeah, so we just got through with the mines. And it gave us a sort of like point of no return. And we're heading to this creepy temple. There seems to be an underground society, an order, a cult. There always is one, huh? This is going to be an awesome week. We've got brand new games coming this week. Moonscars, a beautiful pixel art horror game. We've got Valkyrie Elysium. I played the demo of that. That should be awesome as well. Lots more, lots more. We also started Immortals Phoenix Rising. So we have a lovely little Ubisoft, you know, Breath of the Wild, like. So yeah, and then we're slowly pushing into October, which is just that's going to be non-stop games in October, man. I'm personally so excited for Gotham Knights. I can't wait. Oh baby, it'll also kick off some spooky Halloween stuff as well. Let's see, we were talking to a guy in here. I don't know if he's still here. Let me see, this might be not the right area. Basically a recluse. He was helping us out. No, that's not the right area. This lift has like 4 floors. Feels like Lord of the Rings with all these bloody mines. Mines. Oh. Okay. Don't really get a choice, huh? Huh? Just press the button I'm used to pressing. Yeah, I think we're rocking some cool outfits right now. Maybe he was in here. Yeah. But actually does give you a bit of armor, huh? Goddamn, goddamn, goddamn. Yeah, I think they've really nailed the difficulty for this one. Is he in here? Refuge. There's been a couple of little, you know, hiccups here and there, a couple of little crashes. Nothing that an update or two can't fix. But otherwise, it's been amazing. I worry about some of the quests possibly being a bit buggered because they just kind of end abruptly. Let's see. Speak to Jean-Paul Marat.
Were you able to find proof of Lafayette's involvement in the National Guard debacle?
No. Nothing that convinced me.
One thing is certain. This Tartuffe would have taken infinite precautions.
Tartuffe?
I'm not sure the same could be said of his underlings. A band of brazen brutes who are hardly experienced in intrigues such as this. If I were you, I'd go back and investigate the area around Place de Fienne.
Quarry his companions.
Who are your compagnons?
Patriots who come and go in the quarries throughout the city. Under the command of Monsieur Leclos. Alas, there are few left. And I wager that it won't be long. My hours are numbered. Mais vous-même, have you found any companions for yourself?
No. The convent. Do not reveal anything. Ooh. What do you think? Do you think that could be dangerous?
I'm not certain, Mr.
It's as if all the patriots in the kingdom have already perished.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think it updates the quest though. At this point, it would appear you have to figure things out on your own volition. Your own initiative. Use the old noodle. But I do... There's a couple of quests I was doing. One specifically to find the daughter. Some aristocrat. And I feel as though it might have been buggered. The quest, it just kind of ended very abruptly. So I don't know if I screwed up somewhere. Because we have this compass that kind of points towards quests. There's also a, you know, you've got your quest tab as well. Ooh! Looks like my thing didn't even go through there. Let's get back into this combat. Very unique combat, which I enjoy. That's more like it. Rewards aggressiveness, but also you have to keep it in check with, you know, Aegis being a clockwork of our own, you know. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're heading back this way. To the temple. Seems to be a very overcast night for sure. Is this, oh, this is the, okay. It's the carriage, huh? Is this what's going to take us to the temple? Enter carriage. Travel. Yeah. Let's see. Get to the temple. No, maybe we stay here, huh? Yeah. Let's go! These little shites. Not today, my little trumpeter. Smack-a-doo. I think we've upgraded this weapon as far as she'll go. Yeah, this definitely felt very, point of no return. We'll have to see. Whoa! This is not where we came out. We now have the ability to grapple with her leg. This is why her outfit's a little bit different, because she wears the weapons literally in compartments on her arms and legs. Pretty cool. Oh, this must be the one path to the temple. Maybe I should grab this just in case, as a checkpoint. You never know. I have a habit of getting lost. My sense of direction is flawed to a T.
If I take one more step, there will be no turning back.
Ooh.
This path will lead me straight to the Quartier du Temple.
The Temple. It's fine by me. The Paris Underground. We may be going to the catacombs themselves. Probably no need to fight half of these guys, but I kind of want to shake off the rust a little bit. So yeah, this month, many people might look at this month and think there wasn't as many game releases, but this is when things like Game Pass and PS Plus and that's when they really shine, you know, and it's up to yourself. If it's something that you don't want to explore, if you're just into AAAs, then that's fine, but, you know, playing some amazing games from Steel Rising to Solstice, and now Valkyrie Elysium, they're everywhere. And don't even get me started on the indies. There Is No Light has been amazing. It's lovely pixel art horror game. Really impressed me. Very difficult as well. I do enjoy a game that does that. It kind of lowers your sense. Oh, I think I'm being followed by someone. I am. It's a spooder. A mechanized spooder. These guys can shoot. Wow. The point of no return. Always a little scary, but that's what we're here to do today. We're gonna finish this game tonight. Wow, so just couldn't get past that box? Okay. Take a hit on an environmental bug. It hurts. Gotta be careful. Nice, we broke that item as well, lovely. Let's see. Improved frost grenade and oil. I'll take oil. I think we still only have a couple of vials of normal replenishing oil. Did not find any more after that. Usually you'd get close to 10, you know. Bye! Don't you wake up on me. Just double checking. Seems like someone else fell down here as well. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Yeah, so it's been a crazy week, or a crazy month even. I even like started playing all the battle royales and trying out different things after the success of all of us playing multiverses together. The pit! This place is the pit! Alright, they intend for me to jump over here, which is easier said than done with that air dash. That's all I can say. It needs a couple of more frames of momentum rather than animation, if that makes any sense. she'll, at the end of the air dash, she kind of stops in midair, and you're like, well, that's it for me, Betsy. Or a couple more frames of momentum would really make a difference. You think we gotta go down there? I guess we're going. I think I lost my momentum there. He hit me. Yeah. Thanks, dumb nuts. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. Being hit in midair. And, that's literally after I saying it. That's exactly what it needs. It's unfortunate. Needs a couple more frames of momentum. Because it's all or nothing. The jumps have been timed beautifully. But it can be a little frustration. You got to give the player a little bit of room to breathe on these things. Especially when there's no ledge grab in a traditional sense. She'll grab certain ledges, but only those she deems worthy of her touch, apparently. Hello! Nice. Lots of grenades, but I'm looking for another potion if at all possible. So then, we'll just mosey on. Let's see, was there another door in here? Where was the one we came through? Beep ba 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 da bo. Ba 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 da bo. That's probably around this fool of a tuck. I saw that. I love secrets. More explosive grenades. My. I've always been a big fan of J.R. Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings movies and everything. The books mainly. And The Hobbit has a special place in my heart, just growing up. As a young whippersnapper, it was one of the first more grown-up books that I read outside of, you know, Secret 7 and Famous 5, Enid Blyton and all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, The Hobbit has stayed with me. I must have gone through half a dozen copies in my life. It's a small enough book, you know. But after the Lord of the Rings movies, Peter Jackson really did create an incredible trilogy. And needless to say, I was very apprehensive about him making Hobbit movies, you know. And I had heard at the time, way before, you know, back then, that they got Guillermo del Toro attached, and I was like, wow, okay, this could be something really different, because he is such a visionary. He has a great mind. Where's my dead body? At this point, I don't even care. My wee dead body. Fighting these guys on such small, meager battlefields. Now he's out there falling down too. Oh, but he's allowed to climb up? Hell no. So yeah, then I'd heard that they were turning the movie into 2 movies. And I'm like, okay, it's only 300 pages, that's it. But let's go for it. I was still kind of on board. And then they fell out with Guillermo del Toro. Peter Jackson had to take over. It then became 3 movies to mirror the 3 Lord of the Rings movies. It was just a fucking shit show. And at that point, I was done. I didn't even want to see the final product because I realized what was going on here. It was another Warner Brothers cash grab, you know? Milk. And then it's only now, you know, many years later that the real dirt comes out. The fact that Peter Jackson was rushed, that he did not get nearly as much time, if any, of pre-production, which in the case of Lord of the Rings, because it was his own baby and it hadn't really been done at such a grand scale before, that he had so much time to make it his own. And it shows. It absolutely shows in the film. But it also shows how little time he had to prep in the Hobbit movie. So I finally sat down. They've been out almost, what, 10 years now or so? Never watched them. Refused to watch them. Nothing against Martin Freeman or any of the cast at all, but I just refused to watch them. So I finally sat down to watch them. And, you know, there was always that controversy over him using 48 frames a second instead of the usual, what was it, 28 or 24. He'd basically doubled the frame rate speed. But doing that in the movie makes them look like a soap opera, you know. So yeah, it was, and it was also at the time where everything had to be 3D, you know, 10 years ago or so. To me, like, when we look back at the inevitable fall of the movie theater, I wholeheartedly blame 3D and rising ticket prices and IMAX experiences and all this shit. That stuff. not the Netflixes, not the Hulus and all this of the world. Like, they didn't help for sure, but in, you know, a day of rising costs and more uncomfortable seats and pointless experiences in a cinema, you know, rather than just the traditional theater experience we've all been used to for fucking 100 years, yeah, you can see which drained these companies versus, you know, Netflix and all those that were really just giving us an alternative to the greed of the movie studios. Anyway, back to the point. I finally sat down and watched them, and I can honestly say that the 3 Hobbit movies are a complete waste of time. That's the only thing I can say. Complete waste of time. I have never met such complete and utter waste. Just wasted film, wasted everything. Martin Freeman holds it together by the skin of his teeth, you know. They do a nice job with the hobbits. Like, it's 13 goddamn yeah, the hobbits and then the 13 dwarfs. It takes a lot to try and squeeze that many people on the screen and make them all stand out. So in that case, in that regard, I think they did a little bit of a better job than the book, because good old J.R.R. Tolkien, he was always fond of you know, setting up the easy way of living and all that, you know. So he would go on rants about the pipe weed that they would smoke for fucking 3 pages, you know. So yeah, a lot of that stuff. But yeah, the first movie was pretty decent, you know. That was the best one. And I was like, okay, this has potential. I see what's going on here. And then they kind of end with the eye of Smaug looking at them, you know, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And then I sat down and watched The Desolation of Smaug. And that is the worst of the trilogy. That is a fundamentally broken movie in every which way a movie is broken. The second movie proves to a point that there was no need to do a trilogy at all. It was completely full of fluff and nonsensical farce. The whole. I actually timed how long it took for us to see Smaug in a movie called The Desolation of Smaug that was teased in the last frame of film from the last movie. It took 1 hour and 51 minutes. I was pissed. That was before he ever showed up on screen. Like, how fucked up is that, dude? The movie's about a dragon. It takes 2 hours to fucking see him on screen. What a joke. So I see a lot of like new Tolkien fans, and they'll say a lot of memes and stuff, and mention a lot of quotes from the Hobbit movies. And I realized that, yeah, they're either too young, that they got into Lord of the Rings later, or the movies later. So it's basically like the idea of which one's your favorite Spider-Man, which one's your favorite, you know, Batman or Superman. It literally is like that. But Jesus Christ. Hey, Lacoon, how's it going, dude? Yeah, that second movie is a complete waste of time. They actually added in a story. They brought in a new elf just so they could have a role for, what's her name? Evelyn Lilly or whatever her name is. And Legolas, they brought Legolas into it. Legolas was not even in the fucking book. Legolas was never mentioned until fucking Lord of the Rings. So it's just a reason to get Orlando Bloom in there. And as you can imagine, they completely took over the movie. So silly. And then there's also this backstory of Sauron. And Sauron was also not mentioned in The Hobbit, but they did mention the Necromancer. So that was cleverly done. I didn't actually mind that much. That was fine to me, because it gave Gandalf something to do. Because in the book, Gandalf does piss off for like 100 pages, and you never really figure out what the fuck he's doing, you know? But they do talk about, you know, Dun Guldur and all that, and how Sauron kind of hid away to get his power back and all that. So it was pretty good. It was pretty damn good. And then we had like Luke Evans as Bard, and he's an important character, but once again I really felt like it was just more screen time for, you know, at the time a beloved actor, Luke Evans. So I think him and his family and Lake Town got way too much time. But yeah, Desolation is Smaug. You could it probably has the best song because it's Ed Sheeran, but it is the worst of all the movies. I think they did a great job on Smaug. They got like Benedict Cumberbatch, who you know I hate. I have a general dislike for the guy. I'm waiting, counting down the years before something weird comes out about that guy. So I've always had a bad feeling in my bones. People like him because of Doctor Strange, but I think there's a little more strange going on over there. I know him before all that, and he's always given off a weird bad vibe. But anyway, he did a good job as Sauron and Smaug. He played both of their voices, so he did a good job. The funny thing was, it took 1 hour and 50 minutes to get to the dragon, right? And then when we got there, it was over too soon. Like, Bilbo's supposed to have, like, hours and hours long conversation with Smaug, you know? This is a dragon that's gonna burn everything he knows. He's gonna kill him. So he has to play ball with him. He has to trick him. They're supposed to have a whole thing about riddles and everything, and they just glossed over it. When they had the riddle competition with Gollum, which is extremely important because it allows him to escape, it was amazingly done. I thought that was fantastically done. Obviously, Andy Serkis just nails it every time. And Gollum looks great. He's even more expressive. Almost too much sometimes. Those eyes freak me out. It's like one of those mirrors you put on people's eyes and you see every little bloodshot vein. But yeah, that movie is a disgrace. Then Battle of Five Armies, of course, as you can imagine then, because you've got this huge 5-army battle coming along, it's completely rushed, you know, it's very, very rushed. And then it gets to the point where they're just like, fuck it, we need to kill off characters we forgot. So yeah, it should have been 2 movies. It would have been golden. It would have been sweet as a button. Just foolishness. Foolishness. Lot of like, he took a couple of, you know, inspirations from the book. He tried to stay as close as he could in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, you know, while adding his own little flavors. And I never felt like it detached too much from it. It wasn't like a, you know, a betrayal of the novel or anything. But The Hobbit, to me, The Hobbit is. Those movies are a betrayal of the novel. You've now taken 300 pages and stretched them out for Warner Brothers' own money making. And I think that is a big reason why The Hobbit fell asunder. It's just an overall very messy trilogy. It really is. Like, they're constantly hopping between things. And it gets to the point that you realize, if you really look at the Battle of Five Armies, that Bilbo Baggins is on the screen for a long, long time and does absolutely nothing. Even when Merry and Pippin are running around in Lord of the Rings, like, yeah, they're running beside Gandalf doing fuck all, then they finally get out there and do something. But with Bilbo, no. Like, I get it. Like, if you're going by the book, you can't just give him a shopping list and he heads off to Aldi, you know, it's not like that. But Jesus Christ, it was like they had to keep reminding us that it was called The Hobbit because there's a Hobbit in it. But no, it was nice to see a lot of great characters returning, you know. Hugo Weaving, Cate Blanchett absolutely stealing the show as Glandriel, one of the strongest elves to ever exist. And she really proves herself yet again. Ian McKellen doing a wonderful job. Definitely looking a little more older. But it makes sense, you know, this was the later years of Gandalf the Grey before he would inevitably perish in an incredible fight with the Balrog. But yeah, that's my final piece on The Hobbit. I'm sorry. It took me 10 years to watch them because I refused to, and I wish I never did. Just like what they did with Stephen King's The Dark Tower, I wish I never watched it. It just goes to show that great actors you can't capture lightning in a bottle twice. You just can't. Martin Freeman did a great job as Bilbo, but it is not enough to keep together a stretched out story. There's just so much wasted film. So much. Why the hell have we come up here? This is empty. So much wasted time, extra stories for no fucking reason. Legolas just once again proven that he needed an action hero in his movie, and it's like, it's so blatantly obvious how pointless it is. Like, Orlando Bloom and Legolas, great actor, great character, but completely unnecessary. It just drags out so much unwanted. Like, they tried to shoehorn a love story in there between a dwarf and an elf, which, you know, I appreciate for whatever it is, but it's just completely pointless in the grand scheme of things, you know. Anyway, it's going on. Walking the dog. He was attacked by another dog. She was pregnant, got defensive. Oh no! Oh my god. Jesus. Yeah, once they sniff at the butt or anything like that, to us it just seems like a goofy little habit they have, but in all actuality, it's them basically getting a read for each other. And yeah, pregnant dogs will go crazy. Holy shit. Hope he's okay. Hope he's not, like, too cut up. I like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, but I've never read the book, so it doesn't take too... Yeah. But see, even if you didn't read the book, oh my god, The Hobbit, oh Jesus. It's so pointless. That whole trilogy is the most pointless thing I've ever seen. And they've kind of... It's funny, because they've actually mucked up The Hobbit multiple times over the years. We've got, like, bad video games, bad TV and movie adaptations. It's just been bad. I think it's just one of those books that is extremely hard to put to film because of the meandering and the 13 dwarves and everything, you know. I mean, it has really great set pieces, but there's a lot of meandering. He does like to go off on massive tangents about pipeweed, or you know, 3 pages of Bilbo making breakfast, and yeah, you could tell what he was kind of into, or when he started getting hungry while I was writing a book or something, you know. You did enjoy the niceties and the little things that he designed. But I mean, it's all world building, don't get me wrong. But in a book that has 300 pages, yeah, maybe 3 or 4 of them just talking about pipeweed and that is probably not the best. I need to find a switch for this gate. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I am yeah, pretty aggressively fresh after watching them, and I'm not happy at all. It's all good. I never need to watch them again. But the Lord of the Rings series will be never-ending. Even those movies have little flaws. Like, I think the Frodo-Sam relationship is shown a little bit too much. Every little shot is kind of dragged out. I know it's to show the sheer, you know, pain that he was going through having to carry the ring, as it actually felt like a ton weight. But yeah, it also felt like they were paying a lot of money for Elijah Wood and you know, Sean Astin, and he wanted to get that film in there. It was a bit much. But the weird thing is, like, even though there is a lot of similarities to the book of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, like from the eagle's arrival to, you know, fighting spiders and stuff, for sure, you know, one is one book and the other is like 7 books. But to watch him kind of imitate that on film, and I love Peter Jackson, don't get me wrong, I think he's a great director. I was a huge fan of him before Lord of the Rings. All of his B-movie stuff, The Frighteners, I've spoken about The Frighteners a lot. But I could really see that he was trying to pay so much homage to the Lord of the Rings that he kind of forgot to make it a little more original. You know, there was so many nods to it. The fact that he added like a fucking whole hour of film just for a Legolas story, and what's her name, Evelyn Lilly, whatever her name is, her character doesn't exist. You know, he created that story. He created that love story with the dwarves. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's an angle, I suppose. Yeah. The only addition I liked was the Sauron bit, you know. I thought that was great, because that doesn't show up till the Lord of the Rings books. You know, the fact that you've got Glandriel, Elrond, Saruman, and Gandalf all fighting back Sauron's spirit, you know. Because he had lost his body, but his spirit would never die. So that was kind of cool. I loved seeing more of the black speech as well. I love that, because it's always such a creepy language. Like, even just speaking it alone is enough to turn men's hair to grey and make them wither and cower, you know. Maybe we just jump over here. Is that it? Where's the switch? Where's the switch? So that was really good. And seeing Glandriel's darker side as well, once again. There's that jump scare in the Lord of the Rings where Frodo offers to give her the one ring because he's a baby back bitch, and she turns to that dark elf. See, because Glandriel, she's one of the you know, the old Eldar, one of the original elves, you know, and she has like many bloodlines running through her veins, so that's why she's so powerful. You know, she comes off as very ethereal and ghost-like, but she's powerful. Now with the Rings of Power, we start to get to see how powerful she is as a warrior. Like, this elf's like 3,000 years old, you know what I mean? She's old! She's even stronger than Elrond, even though Hugo Weaving gives off a far more stronger presence, you know, just because that's who Hugo Weaving is, right? But each of them have the Elven Rings of Power, you know, with one of them being of air, one of being of fire, one of being of water. That's why you see, like, Elrond able to command the elements. And each of the Elven Rings also has the power of healing as well. I am a bit of a Tolkien nut, I will say that. Yeah. Out of all, growing up, that was definitely one series that I was madly obsessed with. So I am a bit of a Tolkien head. So yeah, so that's probably why I feel so strongly about it. But yeah, I don't think it's a trilogy I'll ever watch again. It's all good. Just, yeah, it's done now. It's tainted me, and we move on. Good luck. But I'll watch Lord of the Rings forever and ever. Bonk. How was your weekend, dude? Sorry for that rant. I just randomly fell into that. Chest a little scratched up, but give him a bit of hound and tiny dog's lucky you can kill him. Yeah, never underestimate. Oh, we're finally going to the Bastille. Never underestimate any dog, no matter how small, even a Chihuahua. He added about world building small, doesn't matter, like pipe. Yeah. Oh yeah, it makes characters come off more relatable. Exactly. But just like when in such a small one book, you see how much it's then dragged out in 3 movies. It was meant to be 2 movies, and they were going to be filmed or directed by Guillermo del Toro. And a part of me wishes to see what it would turn out like, because he's such a unique director, you know. But Peter Jackson did a great job. But, you know, now it's been 10 years to look back on the Hobbit trilogy. He has spoken out how ridiculously rushed he was, where he had years and years of pre-production for Lord of the Rings. He was given no time between the Hobbit. And it shows. It's extremely messy at times, when, especially when you start to see the poisoning of Thorin, when he gets that kind of... They don't really explain it very well, but Smaug spends so much time sleeping in the gold that it's literally dripping with his magic, you know, because these are not just average dragons. You know, they're magical beings far from the north. There's only a few of them, you know, that were left. So he literally poisoned that gold. And it was to kind of show that it would too poison anyone who obsessed about it. But yeah, there was such a weird disparity between Thorin going, "We did it! Thank you, Bilbo, the master burglar." And then he's like, "I will kill my brothers." I'm like, what the fuck? You good, bro? But yeah, I mean, obviously limited time and all that. But also, adding an hour of footage for Legolas and some other elf that you've invented, maybe trim the fat a little bit. I wasn't even watching, like, extended cuts or anything like that. Like, Jesus Christ. I just feel like he needed to go for the tropes, and I wish he didn't. Like, he really turned Bard into an action hero. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, he's the one to take down Smaug. But this thing of him fighting on the streets and all that, what the fuck was that about? He was stronger than fucking Legolas at one point, because Legolas was getting overpowered by orcs, you know? That was strange to me. I don't remember that at all. Because he still is a fisherman. He is not a fucking warrior. Anyway, that's just me. I think that was just something to give Luke Evans something to do. And yeah, Legolas. As much as the choreography is amazing for Legolas, it gets to the point where there's just so much CGI. That was another big feeling in my bones. I'm like, God damn it, dude. And another sign of having no time of pre-production. The sheer amount of CGI in that movie was horrendous. There was very little practical effects. The trilogy of CGI, and another sign, my personal opinion, of movies being detached from the audience. We are in CGI heaven these days, and it is worse than it's ever been. That series was also trying to usher in the 48 frames a second. He tried to film it differently. It made it look like a soap opera, like on TV. And also the IMAX and 3D experience nonsense, which just costs way too much money. You know, just these cameras alone, just to rent them, can be like 500 million a fucking day. Or not 500 million, 500,000. It's been well known about Christopher Nolan's feeling on them, to the point where he would only shoot certain scenes in IMAX. That's how expensive it is. I mean, it's different now, don't get it twisted, but that was like 10 years ago. Yeah, I don't know, just so... Movie making has become so convoluted and pointless that it will be the downfall of theaters, not Netflix. It will be those nonsensical gimmicks that they keep jumping on, from 3D to IMAX to 4D to whatever they fucking want. Just give us a good movie. It's so silly. They'll blame Netflix. They'll blame all these day and date subscription services. But when I look at a subscription service at the price it is to the average movie ticket being well over 20 euro for what they want you to do, you know, your 3D, your IMAX. They say that's how they want you to see their movie. So go see their movie. Go pay your fucking $50 with a couple of snacks just to watch a goddamn movie and wonder why we're going back to subscription service. The cost of living and inflation is only going up. People have less and less disposable income, and you put up the price of movie tickets? It's a hell of a play, and let's see how it works out, Cotton. Let's see how it works out. That's why people wait to get like $3 tickets or free movie day or whatever. It's the only time they'll go to the cinema. It's gone that bad. It's crazy. Yeah, the games set in the Lord of the Rings, I absolutely love them, dude. The Hobbit game, right, has weirdly come back up recently thanks to speedrunners. But I grew up with that little game. It was such a goofy little cartoony game, but I always loved it. I'd love to get my hands on it. It's really hard to get. This is a new character. Sheesh. Then the, like, we know EA are mostly good for nothing these days, and kind of always have been that way. But there was a time when we had a great mix of, you know, wonderfully licensed games. And it led to great Harry Potter games and Lord of the Rings games as well. And I love those games. I definitely grew up with those. And they were amazing. And extremely ahead of their time back then. Oh, holy shit, like they had co-op and everything, you know. Really ahead of their time. Some would say even better than the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games. But they're great too, you know. No sweat on those. They're great games, just very different. They have, in my opinion, a little less replayability because of the combat that became the new norm. You know, people say Souls likes are everywhere. Motherfucker, ever since Arkham Asylum, we weren't be able to get away from that same combat. Triangle to dodge, counter. It's the same thing. Even Assassin's Creed moved over. They all moved over. So it started to get really derivative. It was like, oh, here we go again. Still a great combat system, but it was like, how were you managing to shoehorn this everywhere? But yeah, there was a lot of like turmoil around the games back then because Vivendi, good old fucking shithead Vivendi. What the hell game? I'm aimed at her. I'm looking at her. Whatever. Yeah, those mobile idiots, mobile game, fucking trying to buy Ubisoft now. Horrible conglomerate is Vivendi. You hear that name, just run. I would trust Tencent over Vivendi, and everyone knows Tencent is quickly becoming mobile, you know, game and monopolizing all the studios. But yeah, they had the rights to make games on the books, right? And then EA had the rights to make games on the movies. So neither of them could ever dip into the others, you know? But what it did was it allowed EA to use actual footage, like their cutscenes was footage from the movies. So it was immediately recognizable. It was genius. But what it also meant was that EA being EA are always late to the draw, as we stand here, you know, with no Mandalorian game, even though they've had the license well before they knew about it. EA is very much a wait-and-see company until it's a sure bet, and they're a disastrous company because of that. It's always waiting for the sure bet. It has to make billions before they ever go into it. So what happened was we never got a Fellowship of the Ring game from EA's team. We got the Two Towers, which sneakily put large parts of the Fellowship of the Ring in there, which is kind of cool. For those two games, Return of the King and Fellowship of the the Two Towers, both of those games were heavily rushed, but it just goes to show the breadth of the talent that was over there. I believe at the time, the dev that made it was EA, but it was a different studio in I think they were called Red Shore or Red something. I think they went on to be Visceral. We know from Dead Space fame, yeah, I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm nearly sure Red Shore used to be called Visceral, which is wild and shows how incredible those games were. I loved them to bits. It was just good hack and slash, but really clever, like leveling up and being able to play different campaigns with each person. You had Aragorn, Gimli, Legolas, Gandalf. It was really clever. And then when you completed each one, it would then open up the final battle with Sauron, you know, with the Black Gate. So cool. But the Fellowship of the Ring game that Vivendi put out was more to like a classic RPG. And you know what? Like, it wasn't actually that bad. It was very different, though. It was mad, like, you know, back then, this was turn of the century video games, you know, so we were still trying to get to grips with good 3D and everything like that, you know. So yeah, it had like PS2 written all over it, where you had just giant fields of stretched out, you know, textures. that really didn't go anywhere, but it was still kind of cool to look at. Yeah, it was actually a really decent amount of freedom for a game of, you know, its age. There's got to be somewhere else to go here, right? So yeah, I do enjoy those games. And then the Hobbit game came later. That one was really goofy, really cartoony, but they actually nailed all the story bits. They even had werewolves in it, which was so fucking funny. The werewolves were these crazy little fucking giant tremor-looking worms that would dig under the earth. And yeah, they were very rarely mentioned in the books. It was more like a tale you told your kids, you know. It was like, oh, you'll be swallowed up by the werewolves of the last desert and all stuff like that. But yeah, it was funny to see those. He did get them in the movie, which is cool. I'm not sure if that part was in the book, but it was still cool to see that idea of them hiding in plain sight by digging under the ground. Yeah, and then they put them in the game, but they were only the size, say, of a human, you know, like little baby worms. Yeah, interesting to talk to, for sure. Yeah, I don't know where they'll go from here. Like, Rings of Power is doing so-so. Like, in terms of action, that same with House of the Dragon. They're both needing an injection of action, and House of Dragons need to lean away from this incessive need to have some kind of weird sexual story. I don't know what that's about. I think your boy George Railroad, your Mom Martin, might have a couple of fetishes on show. It's kind of strange. I think what happens is when a show becomes known for something like that, you can't necessarily move away from it anymore. It is what it is, kind of thing, you know. Oh, damn! They've really turned this one into a bit of confusion. I think I see now why it. Why you can't go back, because they're kind of tiptoeing back around where we came, huh? Yeah, that's why. The Bastille. But yeah, like, when you think of the legacy that Lord of the Rings trilogy has had and will have forever, I just don't see the same thing with the Hobbit movies. But, you know, he wanted to connect them so much to the Lord of the Rings to create a circle, you know. You know, the time J.R.R. Tolkien wrote The Hobbit, I wouldn't doubt that he only had very little subplots and ideas for Lord of the Rings, you know. Sauron didn't even have a name then. That's why they called him, like, fucking the Necromancer, you know, which is very clever. Bing bong, bing bong. And I know my memory probably escapes me, but after he has his dealings with Gollum, and he scampers off with the ring, Gollum goes crazy. I could have sworn Gollum came back in the book in some way. I could have sworn there was another little tussle, another fight. Because Gollum, the little shite, you know, he too was a hobbit of his own, but he sure had a lot of dark friends, you know. Between literally at times walking into some of Sauron's fortresses to having some one-on-one chats with spiders, you know. Any of the things that you hate in life or your nightmare fuel, they always attested that to Sauron, which is very clever. Like anything from spiders to obviously the orcs and goblins, all the way to like even bats, the giant bats as well. That was all. They were all Sauron's little pets, which I thought was cool. But it just seemed odd to me how God damn, how connected then they made Gollum be able to just have a chat, you know. Let's have a little chat. What you say? How's it going? Hello, 50p man. Yes. Yeah, I thought he came back and would fuck around with Bilbo one more time. Just crazy. After the end of Desolation of Smaug, Bilbo literally does nothing. Like there's nearly four more hours of footage. He does nothing. There's a bit where they're like, I'll go and deliver the Arkenstone and all this shite. Who gives a fuck? The Arkenstone wasn't even important in the book as well. That was really strange to me. They tried to make it like the One Ring. Arkenstone was not even really mentioned much in the book at all. In fact, the only thing Bilbo ever took from Smaug was a cup, a gold goblet. But Smaug being that sensitive to the gold, having it all under his magic, he knew when a single coin or a single cup was taken, even in a wealth of treasure. But yeah, good old Benedict Cumberbatch doing all the voices. That was pretty cool. The fact he did both of them, but they were so different. He did Sauron's voice in the Black Speech. That was really cool. The effects they did on Sauron, having him show up in like the pupil of that famous eye, that was really cleverly done. The whole thing was amazing. That was the only addition in the trilogy that I was like, wow. When they had Elrond and Saruman all fighting. They were basically fighting the Nazgul, which was awesome. The ring rates, you know. Now, they weren't winning or anything. I mean, these guys are, you're literally in their domain. They were immortal. Someone just throw something at me? I saw that. So that was really cool. Seeing Saruman do anything besides being a little baby back bitch was nice. Because he was meant to be the strongest of all the wizards, you know. And also the one who was jealous of Gandalf. And basically was turned by Sauron. Or Sauron. Fuck, it's too hard to focus. This guy's a new guy. He just wants to stomp on my head. Like a stamp collector. So yeah, I really enjoy that. And as much as people might not be too hyped about the Rings of Power, just seeing Gladriel fighting and stuff, she's amazing. The actress they got to play a young Gladriel, she's a Welsh actress. She's an unusual Welsh name. It's like Morfid with 2 eyes or something. But good for her. I wish nothing but the best for her, because I think she's doing a great job. Because that role demands a hell of a presence, you know. Before you ever open your mouth, oh my, you have to carry that presence. And she was a hell of a warrior back then. She was one of the strongest elves. Still is. But she does have one of the Rings of Power already. I think her one was the Ring of Air, I think, maybe? Or, no, Water. Yeah, Water. Gandalf has the Elvish Ring of Fire. That's why he was able to fight the Balrogs. He spoke with the flame of Anduin and all that. Which is kind of cool. For one wizard to take down a Balrog is pretty impressive. That was something that always kind of made me sad, because in the movie, it's this epic moment, you know, fly you fools, and he says it again in The Hobbit, which is really stupid. There's a bit where he's like, yeah, when all the orcs are chasing him down, there was so much reused motifs and stuff in The Hobbit from Lord of the Rings. At some points it really became, it was actually trying to harm the Lord of the Rings movies, I think. Like, Jesus, man, Legolas for an hour? Really? Is this necessary? You that hard up? You get Orlando Bloom in there for no reason. So yeah, they were definitely very weak movies, and hearing about how little time he had to work on them, it makes all the sense in the world. Rushed CGI. Jesus Christ. Damn. So yeah, my favorite part of the whole trilogy of Hobbit movies, it has nothing got to do with the Hobbits at all, lol. But I could say the same about the Lord of the Rings movies. My favorite part is when we're not looking at Frodo with a fucking constipated face, or fucking Sam trying to get a reach around or something. Like, what the fuck? The bromance to end all bromance, that which you do not speak its name. Even Gollum was trying to get in on the action. My precious. Dude, they're bringing them out in force now. That fight with Sauron and the Ring Wraiths was awesome. Because the Nazgul and the Ring Wraiths they're all just men. They were just kings who fell to the Rings of Power. And if the Rings of Power show does it right, and let's hope it does, I don't want 5 seasons, it will lead to the last alliance of men and elves. A great battle. A battle that would destroy Sauron's body. That was the idea. Like, everything we've seen up until now, even when he's in armor, is just Sauron's spirit. That's how crazy that bastard is. You do not kill these people easily. Holy shit. Holy shit. So it was, just think of it like that black spirit you see contained inside that body of armor. But yeah, that's why when he gets his hand chopped off, you don't see any flesh or anything. You just see fingers of armor, and then he implodes because it represented his body, you know. And then once the one ring was taken from him, he couldn't contain it, so he was defeated in that sense. It's really cool. So that moment where that fight, you know, with Isildur and his fingers getting ripped off, that's where the show should end. The Rings of Power show should end. It should be on that scene and that scene alone. And then it will beautifully lead into you rewatching like Lord of the Rings and so on, you know? And it would make perfect sense. It'd be fucking awesome. Because, yeah, that would be the last time that any of them would come together and help without some other trouble. Oh, yeah. How you guys doing? I rented some family. Oh, nice. Hopefully things are good. Yeah, so I do enjoy the games a lot. I want to try and get my hands on them for sure. Let me see. Where do we go from here? They turned this last little bit into quite the maze. I guess that's what they were going for. We kind of went through the fence. I can hear you, little shit. How's everyone's weekend been? I hope you're all doing good. Brand new week. Hell yeah, baby. We got new games, new surprises coming. We're moving into October. Can you fucking believe it? I'm so excited for Gotham Knights. So there's my TED Talk, my rant about Hobbit. I'm sorry. It took me 10 years to watch them, and I am a bit of a Tolkien nut. So apologies if I was getting a bit passionate. I mean, they're still worth a watch, but they will never be as iconic as Lord of the Rings. It's not it, unfortunately. It reeks of rushed cash grab. It should never have been more than 2 movies, let alone just 1. It's 300 fucking pages. And we know, like, the average book, you can have, like, you know, 10 pages of writing be 2 minutes of film kind of thing, you know, that way. You know, you can express a book's descriptions much easier on film, I think, me personally.
What are you blaming yourself for, Monsieur?
Just takes the right mind, the right shots.
Get back!
I'm not your enemy. My only aim is to defeat the royal army.
Sorry, that whole bit with Glandriel and Elrond and Saruman fighting Sauron was not even in The Hobbit, and it's my favourite bit. That was actually in the Lord of the Rings, because there's 7 Lord of the Rings books, and then there's, like, if you want to go further back, this is the issue with the Rings of Power. I worry about them taking too many liberties, because there's very little written back then. So obviously, everything we know, most of the writing was done in the Third Age, but obviously you're going to have, you know, the First Age, the Second Age, and there's even stuff before the First Age. It was called the Age of the Trees. You know, the plants, the trees, because they were very important and all that. But, you know, there's a lot of Tolkien's works that 100% mimics religion as we know it. You know, Christianity and all that. One God and all that. The angels, which were kind of known as the Anur. It's kind of Norse and Christianity mixed together, because you've got, like, the Vanur and the Anur, and then there was all the wizards as well. Gandalf being the strongest, but Saruman being the wisest. But in his he's nearly too smart for his own good. Got jealous of Gandalf because everybody wanted to make Gandalf the head of the wizards, you know. But it's definitely cool. I mean, he took down a Balrog by himself, which is fucking insane. The Balrogs were basically also wizards that were turned evil by Morgoth. Morgoth was the big bad. He's basically Sauron's, teacher. He was the first evil, the first Dark Lord. And Sauron, can you imagine how crazy he was? Anything evil in the whole world was created by Morgoth. And Morgoth was basically, if you want to put it into, he's basically Satan. He was the fallen one, you know, the morning star. Satan being a fallen angel. Morgoth was a fallen wizard, a fallen Anur. That's why they're so powerful, you know. Same with Sauron. I want to know more about him. And if the Rings of Power do it well, they're talking about Numenor, which was this beautiful island, and there's known as the Drowning of Numenor, and that could be amazing. That whole island is meant to go up in smoke under the water, and then it kind of becomes Atlantis at that point. But that could be really cool, but the timeline's a little bit played around with, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited for the show. I am a bit of a Tolkien nut. It's just something that I grew up with.
The square. What a ghastly massacre.
And it's fascinating stuff because a lot of it really comes off as a crazy fever dream at times as well. Like how he wrote some of it, I'll never know. It's wild. I suppose if he did take inspiration from real life, it makes sense. But yeah, really interesting stuff. So the Rings of Power basically takes place during the Second Age, and each of the ages have... It's not done by like 1,000 years or anything like that. You know, they have random... Like, I think the first age goes on for thousands and thousands of years, maybe even tens of thousands of years. And then the Second Age is only like 3,000 years or something. And the Third Age, it starts fucking... Yeah, that one's pretty short too, because it ends when, obviously, Sauron is defeated at the end of the Return of the King. But yeah, so it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy like that. So... You can imagine how confusing it is to follow. So, what the fuck? Each age is not measured by time. It is measured by events. So that's confusing as pish. George Washington, bitch. The long games. Bonk. Ow! The Shadow... Are you talking about Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor? Yeah. Well, that's because of the Nemesis system. Which I felt like the Hobbit movies seem to get that as well. The way they created some of the orcs. Azog the Pale Orc, he wasn't even in the fucking book. So he became this enemy. They had to create a bad guy, you know. And Sauron, the Necromancer, was pretty much in hiding. So they really... That was something else. This is what I was saying, why he leaned so much on tropes. He leaned on tropes everywhere. A random love story that never existed. An action hero in Legolas who never was in the book. And, you know, bad guys as well. The real only bad guy of The Hobbit was Smaug, you know. But because he takes 2 hours to come on film, because they're fucking talking bollocks the whole time, and then he's gone in 20 minutes. Fuck that shit. The Desolation of Smaug has the best song, thanks to Ed Sheeran, but it is the worst of the movies. It is a complete waste of film from head to toe. Not 1 ounce of film did I look at that and I'm like, wow, you nailed it. And I finally got into the famous conversation between a tiny hobbit, you know, who Smaug could probably snort like a line of coke up his nose. That's how big he is. It was over too soon, which made me so sad. But yeah, Martin Freeman nailed it. Everybody nailed their performances, but my god, did it drag on. Even the people who did not need to be there. It was cool to see the elf king of the wood elves, Thranduil. He was very strong as well, but he played very well, but written very stupid, like most kings, I suppose, right? And it was really cool to see Billy Connolly in there. God bless Billy Connolly. Like, he's in not the best health. God bless him. He played Thorin's cousin, King Dane, who would become the king under the mountain after Thorin. That was really cool. He was goofy, as Billy Connolly is. That was great. He was all CGI, of course, because not only was he a dwarf, but, you know, Billy Connolly wouldn't have been in the best of health to do any of that kind of stuff. So that was cool. But yeah, really, lots of CGI. Holy bollocks. CGI the movie. Holy shit. Everything. I suppose there's only so much you can do, you know. But it just made me sad that I feel like it was all downhill after on an unexpected journey. A lot of the orcs in that were, you know, in makeup. And then it just... I don't think there was a single orc in makeup after that. Shit. Like, remember that orc? There was a great orc scene that Legolas had captured. And they got him to talk. And he's like, he's got this black stuff oozing out of him. And, oh, so good. And I was like, there you go. There's that wonderful costume design we know so well. And he was quickly beheaded. But I don't think we saw it announced after that. Has been real slow. Someone in the wood class had to put a chisel through their hand by mistake right below the knuckle, which is going to hurt like a bitch. Jesus! A chisel? It just went boom like that. Sometimes I wonder, do people just do things? What do you guys think of it? Have you seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy? How do you feel about the games, the franchise? It's all good either way. I've got nothing but love as well. But the same thing happened to me with The Dark Tower. If you like those kind of series and have ever wanted to watch or you know read and something like that, Stephen King's The Dark Tower series is just as fantastic, if not more so. Whee! It's like a Western meets sci-fi, you know. Really, really good. Anyway, so took them a long time. They never did anything on The Dark Tower. I think the success of like 8 and all these other things coming back, they decided to do a movie. They got like great cast with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. Good versus evil. The gunslinger versus the man in black. Like, and they fucked it up. They fucked it up. They turned it into an action movie. Absolute garbage. Unfortunately. But to me, like, The Dark Tower has like 7 books as well. But the series really doesn't take off till the second one. Which is amazing. Think of the last gunslinger, the last son of Gilead, Roland Descant. And, you know, he's got these incredible guns, these revolvers, a true cowboy. And in the second book, within minutes, a giant lobster, like the size of a man, comes up and eats his fingers off that he can't pull the trigger on his own guns. And that's only in the second book. Imagine what it's like for the rest. It's such a good series. So it goes between, like, modern day, and it goes, like, goes into the fantastical worlds. It's so good. It even, that whole series even connects the rest of Stephen King's books. There's even mention of Pennywise, you know, his real name. The spider, his true form. A dimensional spider. There's mention of that as well. Yeah, a lot of dimensional multiverse stuff going on. It's a fantastic series. Absolutely fantastic. So, you can only imagine. But, once again, just like The Hobbit, the first book, The Gunslinger, is only about 200 or 300 pages. These are small books. How do you fuck them up on film so much? Jesus. Jesus. How did he take 7 Lord of the Rings books and turn them into masterpieces? And take 1 Hobbit movie and turn it into a drawn-out shitfest? Fuck! I'll tell you what. Warner Brothers. Studio obligations. That's what fucking did it. Alright, finally, I was wondering when we were going to get somewhere to chill. I think we're near the end of this one. Right, defeat the unstable... Ah, shit! Hopefully that guy's okay. Still stretched out, but I enjoyed the one I played. I couldn't imagine going back playing again, though, for now drawn out was one with the Wraith guy and the elf. Yeah. So the Wraith guy is actually Celebrimbor, who is the blacksmith who created the Rings of Power. So, yeah, he's very important. So it was kind of cool to bring that into the Shadow of Mordor games as well. He's in the Rings of Power show as well, although very reserved and almost strange. It's one of those things where the creators are trying to play a trick on people watching, as if to say, we know how important this character is, so we're just going to have him parade around on screen. Do fuck all. He would end up marrying I can never say her name very well, but Glendrial. I even hear them pronounce it different in the show. She's got like a hidden syllable that you never get to see. How he would get her, I'll never know. Alright, I gotta defeat this guy. Sheesh! He's got a crossbow, is he gonna use it? But yeah, those games pretty good. I still think they're not a patch on the OG games, though. But I mean, you know, Monolith are amazing. It's a great system. They end up creating one of the coolest AI systems in a while. And it's the same team that created the incredible system, AI system in the Fear game. So, no doubt that they would, you know, basically rewrite AI in video games again. Monolith are fucking awesome. I wish them nothing but the best. They are working on a Wonder Woman game now. This would be their first venture. What the hell was that? Into more comic book stuff. We'll see how that goes. They will be using the Nemesis system. Now, I think the Nemesis system, in terms of, it could work really well. In terms of, like, comic, right? Comic book villains. Things like that coming back. Now I gotta go the long way around. Fuck you. I'd like to see more good licensed games come back, you know. I think we're gonna see that. Like, nowadays, the only kind of licensed games we get are a lot of the time. Just straight up superhero games. Motherfucker, how many attacks are you allowed to get off? Where's the hole to go down? There it is. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to play the old ones, the old EA ones, they're amazing. I'm trying to get my hands on them. Yeah, Hogwarts is going to be huge as well. That needs to be not just great, but it needs to be like a proven ground as well. And it has an uphill battle. I think it's going to sell gangbusters, but it's going to have petitions. It's going to have irate idiots all over the place, you know. To me, like, their anger is not unwarranted. It's very just. I just think it's misplaced. Why go after a fucking studio? Go after the bitch. Go after the bitch yourself, you know? It's so silly. Like, the same thing's going on right now. This is to tell you how stupid media is. But, you know, we know that the Queen has died and she's had a week-long, basically, mourning and all that. But all the stupid public can talk about is fucking Holly Willoughby and gobshite idiot Phil, whatever his name is. Because they skipped the queue, apparently. That's how quick it took them to forget about the mourning of their supposed beloved monarch. My fucking asshole, man. It was a week off for half of them. My asshole. I would fucking... Jesus, I would mourn more for a piece of poo in the toilet before I flush it than these people have for... who gives a fuck who skipped the queue or not? Who gives a fuck? Have you nothing better to do with your lives? Who cares? Jesus Christ. And then the stupidity of, like, comparing, like, oh, David Beckham was in the queue for some... I'm like, Jesus, people are bored out of their minds, dude. Bored out of their fucking minds that this is what they're talking about. Bayern Zaboria. What are they like? It just goes to show, like, when it comes to social media and the masses, there is such herd mentality and sheeple mentality. People just jump on any old hate trend they can. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It's just brain rot, that's all it is. Alright, we should be able to put some new modules in here. Because if we're getting into endgame, I gotta watch myself. My ass is burning. Alright, so these are... I want something like... Yeah, here we go. Longevity. I'll bump it up a lot. Oh, longevity. Look at this. Longevity! Alright, fine. Da-ba-da-ba-dum. Yeah, I know they're like 100,000 people have signed a petition to get them sacked. 100,000 people. Like, I know most petitions are botted anyway, but just think of the stupidity of these people wasting that amount of energy. Like, I don't give a fuck about them either way. I couldn't give a shit, but for most people this morning, especially Desperate Housewives and stuff like that, it is their bread and butter, you know? It's like, you know, fucking... Over in Ireland, we have this thing called Ireland AM, and it's the same thing as that. And in America, it's like Good Morning America. So, yeah. A lot of people, it is all they think about. It's their morning routine. It's just so stupid, dude. Yeah. We are covering that in class and how most people's reaction to the Queen's death was, oh, so long, and we getting off or celebrate. Yeah, the same thing happened with the royal weddings and everything. Like, you got most of the women who are, like, into the fashion or whatever. But in general, people were just happy to get the day off, you know? And that's okay. Like, I'm not shitting on people for that, because we are human after all, and most people will kind of, without thinking about it, be like, okay, so how does this affect me, kind of thing, you know? It seems very selfish, but it is the way the human mind works most of the time, even if you don't mean it on the surface. It's how we think. Like, when you hear these things, you're like, everybody gets a week off, everybody gets a day off tomorrow or whatever. You're like, hey! You tell me, like, kids weren't like, I'm sorry, the Queen is dead. We get, it's like a snow day. It's like, yay! You know? Anyway. It just seems so weird to see them turn. Like, in the midst of people queuing up and mourning for their monarch, all they could do was sign a petition to get these people sacked. Just fucking wake the fuck up for 2 minutes. Who gives a shit?
I will have to go through the moat to get into the Bastille.
Alright, so there's no need to go through here. People just be crazy, that's all I think it is, you know. People love to hate more than anything in life. Love to get behind someone and hate. What did it say, you know, people love a hero. They love to see a hero downfall much more. I don't know what it is, because it's easy, I suppose. Hate is easy for people. Oh, the switch on the other side. Anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, Fortnite's been celebrating their 5-year anniversary. We've been playing a little bit of that. Want to sprinkle in some more stuff. Rick from Rick and Morty. Rick is coming to Multiverses sometime shortly, so that'd be cool to see that as well. I've actually had my fill of Rick and Morty because people are walking around in Rick and Morty skins in Fortnite. But you know, after melting the head off Rick a couple of times, Rick, it's actually pretty fun. So, is there any kind of series that you guys like truly love that you felt like you could make a game of? Like any Wheels of Time fans out there? Anything I don't know of? Back then, like The Hobbit was important to me because it was like my first kind of grown-up book. You know, I came off like all the Enid Blyton stuff, the Famous Five and Secret Seven, and all these other books that were, you know, maybe a little more serious, but definitely still kid-orientated. But The Hobbit was huge to me. It redefined a lot for me. And then since then, I had a deep love for high fantasy stuff. You know, like I was talking about Wheels of Time, Terry Pratchett as well. His Discworld is amazing. Great British humor. You know, silly things like messing like around with post offices and things like that. And yeah, really fantastic. Obviously Stephen King as well. High fantasy, horror. You know, I've always loved that escapism of that genre for sure. I guess we're going through the moat. I'll just leave this here. It's like Snow Day. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. I'm probably not right either, but sure, look. That's how I think people feel about it. You get that same elation. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not you know, you can't expect kids and people to all have the same level of empathy. Especially when, besides being you know, a face with the country, she never really had any personal effect on anybody, really, besides her closest people, you know. It's kind of like when a normal celebrity dies. You're like, oh fuck, I love them in that film. Yeah, oh, that's so sad. You get the fuck on with your life, you know, because you don't know these people. And some people fall apart, that's true. But they probably have bigger issues going on than that. God dang. The Queen in right? I don't know. Got Spider-Gwen, anything's possible. You know who I did see? Kratos from and Master Chief. So hopefully they'll put Kratos back in the store before Ragnarok comes out. I can't. I'll get him. I don't mind. I'll throw down. I'll throw down and get him. But yeah, like something that actually, you know, with God of War Ragnarok and that, it actually made me think how we really are moving away from the whole structure of trilogies, aren't we? Have you noticed that? Be it movies or games, we seem to be only getting 2 in a series these days. I want to get this item, but it won't let me pick it up because it's probably a story beat or something. So a lot of shows that seem to be getting bigger and bigger fucking series, but then they get cancelled. We haven't changed too much on that front, right? We're back to the old networks of cancelling shows after a season, which sucks, especially for fans out there. It used to be the thing where Fox and all those would cancel a show and Netflix would pick it up to the delightment of everybody, you know. I fear we're on the reverse of that. Netflix cancelling shows left, right and centre. If they pour more and more money into nonsensical farce like live action anime. If they would just do anime movies, why can't I pick this up? If they would do anime movies, you know, because they still do well. Keep them anime, just give them the budget to do a movie. I think people would be far happier with that than this constant need to live action everything. Netflix going after the Disney model, but even Disney are fucking up their own model, you know. Disney, every 10 or 20 years or so, they go back on the live action kick. And people don't remember fucking all the shite they used to do back in the day. 101 Dalmatians and all that. They're great movies back then, but most of the time it was because it was an original live action movie, you know. Bum, bum. Now everyone's all up in arms over the new Little Mermaid. Just nonsense. People are literally trying to compare it to the Sonic stuff. I think what happens is you get a vocal minority of these like 4chaners who hide racism, you know, and then you get the herd sheep mentality, not realizing that you're actually jumping on a racist bandwagon. At the end of the day, I don't think they need to do live action anything, you know, but you can tell there's a definite trend of them wanting to just do a version of this movie, that movie, this show, that show, and just put people of color at the front to show, look at us, we're including everybody. And the sad thing is, I feel like it is pandering, but the sad thing is, it's finally a good, you know, time to that they don't shy away from putting people of color in movies and that, you know. But it's just the wrong way of going about it, in my opinion. It just feels really money, you know. That's the unfortunate side. Same with like LGBT and all that. Like, you remember a time, and the same with even like people with different body, you know, different bodies, you know. There was a time when that stuff was frowned upon. You wouldn't put a gay person here or that. You wouldn't put a chubby person on this and that. And now they do it. And you want to believe it's because we're more open than ever. Like, where the fuck did that even come from? 2 ranged people right beside each other? Fuck off, game. But I don't see it that way. Maybe it's just me being a little bit of a pessimist. I don't know. I just don't see it as them wanting to be more open and accepting. I see it as them wanting to make more money. Fuck me, that was a weird angle. Anyway, the way I eventually just kind of get to the point where I look at it and go, at the end of the day, it is creating more representation, so you have to be happy about it. And I am. It's that voice in the back of your head that just goes like, Jesus, they really are just pandering, huh? Where do you go from here, game? Do I gotta go up? I gotta find a way into the Bastille. You think it's over there? The Bastille. Very famous prison. Dark Souls 2, The Lost Bastille was definitely, not sure where to go here. It's not even a good way down. So there must be a good way forward. Yeah, it's gotta be over there, but I can't make that. There's no way I can make that. Are you crazy? I can't make that. I really can't. The air dash is so bad. Ah. Oh my god! Was that really what you want me to do? Oh my lord. The air dash it needs like 3 or 4 frames of momentum. Not even it just needs momentum, because once the air dash stops in midair, the animation stops and she drops like a pancake.
I'm listening, monsieur.
It's not good. Just needs a little more movement at the end there. Hey DPG, hello. Not much of a reader. Yeah, I've noticed that. I think people are kind of... What's weird is we pick up reading different times in our life, right?
To give you, monsieur.
Fucking... You spend like your whole childhood and most of your teen years in education, basically forced. There's always that one subject no one wants to do. And you're forced to read, so it never really creates a healthy pastime out of it, you know, unless you have a true passion for reading. So then there's definitely no doubt that a lot of kids will just not touch a book for a long time, right? And I feel like you start to get back into it later in life, you know, a bedtime treat. Everybody's different though, right? Everybody's different. Oh, I think with the rise of anime, again, you know, and manga as well, I think people are probably reading comics more these days than books. For sure, I had to kill him. I had to kill him, man! Yeah, Have you seen the new Cyberpunk show? Yeah, dude, I heard great things about it. I want to sit down and watch it. I want to go and play through Cyberpunk, 'cause I never got a full playthrough of it. I had to drop it because of the realization that I was missing full scenes thanks to bugs, you know. Whole car scene and everything. Chase scene. Yeah. Animated shows I've seen now. Yeah, Edge Runners, and they've added like a DLC. Hell yeah. I'm still very much on board with CD Projekt Red. Like, I do think they've still done more good than bad. But, I'm watching them carefully, you know, that kind of way. They fuck up again, and I ain't feeling it so much anymore. But, you know, I was with them from the start of the Witcher stuff, you know. The Witcher 1, The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings, Enhanced Edition on the 360. On 2 discs, no less. And finally, The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk. I stayed with Cyberpunk all the way, because I was already hyped. First trailer for that was 2013. Witcher 3 didn't come out till 2015, right? So I was hyped. And they go, like, I was already on the train for Witcher 3. Like, I was fucking drunk on hype. And they go and release this. To this day, I still watch that trailer. That original trailer where they used the archives, with the band archive. So good. And it took 7 fucking long years, man. And by God, was the wait not worth it. But maybe one day. The sad thing is, I've heard the next big expansion they're doing, or this one, may actually be the last one they do. Which makes me super sad, because they had said they were gonna, you know, support it for many, many years. Yeah, I don't know. And they're supposed to be giving away a lot of free DLC. I'm not sure what's going on. I think poor CD Projekt Red got too big for the boots too quick. And it's been mismanaged right now. So hopefully they can right that ship. They went from announcing a new Witcher game to a new trilogy. Who knows? Who knows? I'm actually surprised, and this will show the kind of pedigree of them. But we'll see. I'm surprised they haven't added some corny skin for Henry Cavill's Witcher to the Witcher 3 game. Very surprised. Someone's probably modded it though, you know. People be modding everything. Last was teaser trailer. I saw that. Really, really not on board with Ellie's actress, but I don't want to give her any more hate than she deserves. She's just an actress. But it's so distracting. I don't know who you would have got, honestly, besides like fucking Ashley Birch herself. Or Ashley Johnson even, but yeah. I don't know. But the actor playing Joel seems pretty cool. We'll see. It's their own interpretation. I'm here first. We'll have to see. I think that a lot of them were like Game of Thrones actors and things like that. Which I just, yeah, never really got into Game of Thrones. I watched a couple of seasons. It was, I think I was watching it around the same time I fell out of love with Walking Dead. And I realized how much time these crappy shows were wasting. But I know people love them. I get it. I do not smell George Railroad Martin's farts like everyone else. I don't get the hype. It's far too much politics and not enough action. It's medieval politics. But these are the same people, you know, that watch Bridgerton and The Crown and all this other bollocks. It's like, have you not enough politics in your life already? Every day while they fuck up your whole life? Driving the prices of everything up while you pay off politicians? You want to watch them in a show as well? Okay, be my guest. Thankfully, The Witcher has kind of shied a good bit away from that, because the games go off on it, you know, the Nilfgaardians of the North and everything. The games, a lot of politics. Are they fighting each other? I do not like hallway fights, because there's nowhere to dodge. Is he healing him? You fucking are, aren't you? Bitch. There's nowhere to fight now, baby. Couple that with a fantastic camera. Not! You're stuck in a meandering fight of nonsensical farce. Damn, I'm fucking stuck in the environment. Great. And some A1 steak sauce for your asshole. Just pour it in. Watch it explode. Let's see. Great new characters. Color of pride, not switching his skin tone. Yeah, I do agree, dude. I do agree. There's so many great stories out there. Yeah, doesn't it feel very much when they do it like that? It feels like they're throwing people a bone. They're throwing people of color a bone or throwing the LGBT community a bone. It's like, here you go. Now you're accepted. Come on in. And like, no. No, motherfuckers. That's not how it is. Not after decades, if not fucking centuries of shit, you know? Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Yeah. But the Sonic, I don't know why they compare it to the Sonic thing. The Sonic thing, I knew what that was gonna cause, you know? And it will. It'll continue forever. It was an important thing that the community did. It was a desperate, desperate change that needed to happen. It was another one of those, you know, it's a live-action movie, so we're going to take liberties with the design of a beloved character. And I would not be surprised if the same thing happens when we see Mario. I heard we were supposed to be having a look at the new Mario movie soon enough, maybe at the New York Comic Con or whatever. When is that happening? Is that October? Yeah, that's the rumor is we're gonna see. And I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes some kind of weird liberty with how Mario looks. Not that we haven't already seen that in the other live action. But if you're doing live action and then the main character is CG fucking I, there's no excuse for getting it wrong. But because that was a big internet win, you know, big moment, you know, a whole lot of babies crying got their way, it now has caused them to think they have too much power. And they think they can just harass. You've got every week now another developer comes out about internal harassment and you know, from their own fans, you know. Lately it's been Respawn. Respawn have come out and basically said to people that they're seeing an uptick in massive harassment of all of the developers. And it's getting to the point where you're going to have these developers and celebrities, everybody, just completely move away from social media. Because it is full of, you know, just hateful people who have been raised wrong, you know. It's this point where their parents just let them away with social media. Where they don't have common fucking manners, you know. They haven't created a single thing in their life besides the last loogie they hocked up. To have the nerve to, you know, talk about this and that. As if they have any stake to claim of these properties, you know. Foolishness. Entitlement and foolishness. I hate it. I hate to see it. That's why my Twitter is, you know, the timeline is very... I don't follow any fucking clickbait or nonsensical farce.
What is the meaning of this?
I try anyway.
Promised I have interceded on your behalf. The king has
God of War is getting a TV series. Yeah, dude. I hope it's good.
Do you realize what an honor this is?
People visualize when they read. That's just something I can't do. That's okay. Yeah, I definitely visualize. For me, it's like a movie going on in my head while I read.
Listen to my voice, mon ami. Nothing but
Drop the ball, little Cyberpunk. I think it has some redemption. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, you exist, right? Buy our stuff now. Yeah, that... Like, as someone who is not part of either group, obviously, and comes from a very fucking privileged, you know... I hate being on this side half the time anyway, you know? Because of the online peers. You know, there's some horrendous bad YouTube channels out there that feel the need to spew their ire. People like the Quartering and all of those idiots. Fucking idiots, the whole lot of them. They should not have a platform. But, you know, we live in a world where you don't want to censor either. But hate speech is hate speech. Doesn't matter what guise it's under. I don't know how people can live their lives with such hate. I think what happens is they go viral on it and they're like, okay, that's my shtick now. And then the shtick becomes a personality trait. And then it becomes a psychosis. And before you know it, they've turned into miserable, hateful, lonely people. Yeah, why harass devs? I don't know, dude, I don't get it. It's so nasty. It's fucking privileged kids, man. They're being raised on Andrew Tate and I Show Speed and all these other fucking idiots who think it's a funny joke to be edgy. They're not... It's such a weird situation online. If they're not fucking sending hate, they're sending dick pics. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with people's brains? How is it either or? How is it any of that? What the fuck, dude? What the fuck is that? It's crazy. So yeah, I tend to like, if a dev fucks up, then hell yeah, they're gonna hear about it, and it should be important. But we need to be constructive about this stuff. Otherwise, you're just another hateful mob, you know? Going back to the fucking 1800s. Tar and feather people. Oh, Jesus. The Bastille mode. Where the hell am I going now? This is very pretty. Don't shoot me out here. No bueno. Oh my god, where the fuck do I go here? Trying to get around the fire. Yeah, I hate to hear that stuff. I think they're all just people too, you know? Same with developers. They get shit wrong and right all the time. Ah, right in the titty! Alright, I'll find my own way over here. And that kind of harassment and stuff can only lead to pressure and the inevitability of them rushing out or making a bad game. Like, remember all the crazy stuff going on about the God of War release date and all that? And all that shit just came down to these stupid little console warriors wanting to make sure that they had a game for 2022 to combat the Xbox or whatever. Who the fuck gives a shit about all that? So sending like death threats and dick pics when these developers are still working on the game? No doubt, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw evidence of that at the end of God of War Ragnarok, that it might feel rushed or something. God forbid, but, you know, they're the people I blame at that point, not the devs. At that point I blame those fucking Fruit Loops online who can't control their little fucking tempers. Idiots, a lot of them. They don't deserve the game at that point, you know? I'd pick out the people, find them, and just ban the fuckers, the whole lot of them. You can't do that either. God forbid you do that. God forbid anyone gets reprimanded anymore. So afraid. So afraid. Humans really haven't changed much. No, we really haven't. Only technology's changed, but there's still animal fucking mob mentality. Sheeple, most sheeple. I'm telling you, if their favorite creator jumped off a cliff, they really would. They'd get the parachute out and everything. They have done it before. You see it. You see it in the merch they buy from them. You see it in the pranks that they pull the same way they do, you know. You could sit there and tell me that after Logan Paul spent his little time in a forest that there wasn't a few little edgelords that tried to do that too? Don't fucking deny it. You know they have. Because they're all, the sad thing is that social media, YouTube, Twitch, that's all of their influences, you know? That's why they're called that. It's hard to know where to go. This place is a maze. Be this way. You can hear it in people. Like, people obsess over these creators. There's no doubt that they want to be like them. They want copy in their footsteps, be it their success or their fame or their clout. Give it all the names you can. Every week we get a new fucking name, a new little word, new little catchphrase, but it all comes back to the same shit. You just gotta take care of yourself. That's all I say at the end of the day, you know. If you feel like you're doing some of that stupid shit, or you're having bad thoughts or something, just be mindful. Have some self-awareness. Just look after yourself, you know. No one else is gonna do it at the end of the day. It's you and your brain. Don't idolize these fools. Just look after yourself. Send a little love your own way. Guess I can't pick this up either. Accessible while in combat. Oh my god, that's nasty. Ooh, that's nasty. Think with your dick. Exactly, it's funny. I think there's so many games out there, huh? Ooh. There's so many games. So we do feel a little entitled, you know? I fall into that category at times too. Because streaming, you wait years for this game to come out, and in the middle of the game, you can't even finish what's on your plate. You're thinking of the next game, you know? And at that point, I think the hype machine, the devs, the publishers are just as responsible as we are at that point. Because it is a machine. We fit into it. They fit into it. And yeah, you can't even enjoy that game you waited 5 years for because you're already thinking of the next game. It's where we are right now. It's the hype machine. Because it fuels pre-orders. Because it fuels money. It's shucks. I just want to enjoy. That's why I try and, as much as I can, dip into the indies and that, because I know those are passion projects. They literally put their heart out in the game, you know, that kind of way, on their sleeve. And you can feel it for sure. Because there's great devs out there, there's great games, great experiences. We are so fucking lucky. But you can't see that in the faces of these people. You can't see it in the tweets and the stuff that they speak, the Reddit posts, the 4chan posts. Can't see it there. You don't see the love outpouring from these hateful people. You see great fandoms and great cosplays and wonderful fans as well, but you know how it is. The negative always fucking wins. As much as we don't want it to, it does. So those bastards will always have, you know, be the vocal minority. I don't want items. I want some motherfucking potions. It's interesting to look at, right? You know, it's like if the whole thing really is just one big social experiment, life, you know. Oh, and fucking social media and all that. It's crazy to watch at times. That does look like a door that can be opened, just not from here, I guess. Maybe we just keep going down, huh? I don't know. How the hell like, you look at this stuff, like all these old prisons and that, how did they find anything? It's just like anything, you get used to it. Nice. This is a big shortcut pack. Hell yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of how I look at it, you know. I try and take an outside perspective on things. It's tough. It is tough. I can have some very brash reactions to things as well. I've definitely reacted to delays quite brash, you know. In your heart of hearts, you know, you're like, okay, look, it's for the best, it's this, it's that. But there's no doubt that we don't all fall into that same pattern. Ooh, this looks like a Titan. Is this a Titan? Here we go. It looks like a guillotine. A machine guillotine. The infamous guillotine. Oh my lords, Jesus Christ. Yep. Wow. Made of ice, no less. The blood on the ice, wow. Okay, we get it, you're pissed. This is definitely a Titan. These are the bigger bosses. Let's go, baby. The Executioner. Damn, did I just shoot that? And I get stuck in the ground, is that it? How do we get past this giant wall of ice? Come here, bitch tits. Come here. That's a good boy. Oh my god! Bye-bye! Holy shit, that took away max HP. We might actually die to a boss here. Holy fuck me. Damn. That was one hell of a grab, though. So that takes away max HP. These guys usually have a second and third form. Let's not get grabbed again, huh? That ice is so cool. He's slow, though. He is slow. Got a little bit greedy there. Absolutely aware of that. Oh, shit. There's ice over here, too. The ice stays around for a long time, baby. No grabbies. You shall not touch Aegis' no-no zone. Damn! Straight into another attack? Well, excuse you, sir. Holy fuck. Can I get a minute's peace? Don't think that hit, did it? Damn, I just gotta take it while I can. That's what she said. Halfway point. Oh! Dude, I have not been able to successfully dodge that. I cannot tell a lie. I suck. He's a slow little guy. Where's your second form, sir? Alright, there we go. Oh shit. Damn, that didn't connect. Ah! Oh my lord, he's dropping that ass. Thank god he dropped the guillotine first. I like that it gets stuck, that's clever. That's new. Woo! Baby cakes. Nice. Oh, that's new. That's new. Cool. There's not much of a window, is there? We must take it as best we can. Finish him! Ugh, you bastard, it always misses! Come on, you take my cool ending shot. You bastards! With your big shiny arse. Look like a grandfather clock on speed. Now we're just gonna finish you off. Not such a cool way. And the Lord said, drop that ass! And he did! Sheesh! Damn! I'm just off. Just off every time. Fuck you, you're out of here. Alright. 0 deaths. God damn it. Like the design. Yep. What we get from this? Kind of an ice blast or something? Every time we kill a titan, they give us both a new combat move and a traversal move. I think it's genius. It's giving us the grapple. Or a calcum. Yeah, baby. Alright, now we go over here. Let's see, can we open this? Some of these we can't open yet. It's got to do with the echoes.
No. I haven't found all the echoes.
See, I don't really get that part. As far as I know, the echoes are the items around. But a lot of the time, it makes you backtrack. It is what it is. I think it might pertain to a different ending, maybe? We'll have to see. Nice. 0 deaths. 0 deaths. Let's go. Yeah, this one has a much more moderate difficulty. So anybody could give it a shot. For their first Souls like though, I think they've nailed it. Speed, everything. Everything works. I think the only real drawback I could give this game is maybe the enemy varieties a little bit. But I mean, it's super hard. Like it actually does have enemy variety. It's just because they're all machines, they don't stand out as much, you know? Everything's got that gold and bronze hue. What's wrong with this person? That's a good fight. Jesus Christ.
Monsieur.
We finally found him.
That was...
This is Eugene. He is actually the creator of Aegis and the other machines. He may be able to tell her why she has sentience, you know, why she's able to talk and make choices of her own.
They did it. They did it.
Oh God.
They turned my sweet daughter.
I was thinking there was someone real here.
It's all right. Stay calm.
They literally used his daughter. Wow.
Ludia, what has Cagliostro told you? Has he sent you to put me out of my misery?
It is a little more than Ghost in the Machine. It is actually consciousness in a machine.
There's no point.
To this day, people are still trying to figure that stuff out. The idea of, you know, uploading ourselves, uploading our consciousness.
I couldn't escape it. I'm not long for this world.
No, you can't. Outside, your automats are slaughtering men, women, and children. What you have done, monsieur, only you can undo.
What I have done, the miracles I performed, the wonders I gave to this kingdom, It was nothing but vanity.
Oh my god, look at him.
My eyes to it for so long.
They've whipped them nearly clean of flesh.
Souls snatched from their eternal rest like water from a well. I should have set fire to the workshop. I should have melted my creations.
Probably.
It's not too late to stop the massacre.
I don't have...
God, she used to have no emotion in her voice. You can tell now.
Speak, monsieur. Say something, enfant.
See?
You
There's so much emotion now.
The king and his loathsome...
The consciousness is complete.
The master of the machines.
Yeah.
He gives them their orders. He must be silenced at all costs.
Louis XVI's little henchman.
Take my hand.
I think he may have even mesmerized Louis XVI. Aww. Jeez, the design is so beautiful. It's like porcelain.
Monsieur. Monsieur.
Her own father. If ever a machine could cry, it would be now.
Pauvre enfant. I am not your father. No more than you are Athenais. You're but the vessel that contains what is left of her broken soul. Ludia, I don't want to die without hope. In the name of what is left of her in you, in the name of her love for you, I beg you to free her from the purgatory our enemies have confined her to.
I will grant your wish, monsieur.
Aww.
Do you realize what that means? Are you ready to make that sacrifice?
The ultimate sacrifice.
Damn.
Ma fille. I shall never see her darling face again. Ma toute petite. You must set her free. Bring her back into the light.
Well, definitely not setting up a sequel, that's for sure. For her to destroy herself
Monsieur.
at the end.
Monsieur.
Maybe you will have a choice.
Monsieur.
It's a funny old game, like it's called Steel Rising, but there's no space in between those words. It's meant to be one word, like uprising, but Steel Rising, you know? And no doubt that was a very tough choice for them to make, but it has also interfered with its search rankings and all that, you know? It's just its general visibility because of there being an anime on Steel Rising.
Papa! Have you lost your mind?
Bon sang, my daughter, will you never listen? This machine belongs to the king now, vous le savez. There's nothing I can do about it.
He's the original, like,
Did he also order you to
you know,
torture her?
clockwork maker. He's basically like
The king wants me to make
Pinocchio and what's the dude's name?
improvements.
And you obey him just like that?
It's crazy we're getting like 3 Pinocchio movies and
And from
shit
now
at
on,
the
I
same time.
forbid you from coming in here without my permission.
Ugh! You're no better than your master, Papa!
Aww. Oh yeah, they have done a wonderful job on the bosses. I had fought like 3 of the mini bosses, and I was convinced that that was the bosses, and I had already kind of, and this will tell you how quick we do tend to jump to conclusions, but I had already begun to basically go like, is this it, kind of thing, you know, because you would just kind of happen upon them. There was no fanfare or anything about it. It seemed really, really odd. And then luckily we bumped into our first Titan and we got our cutscene and music, and yeah, thank God for that, because I'm like, Jesus, you know, people work hard on these bosses. If you're not going to give us music and cutscenes and all that and really introduce your hard work, it's a misstep. But no, they nailed it. There's been that many mini bosses and bosses that they've absolutely nailed it. I didn't get extra powers from that one. I think you might have to open up the echoes. Bastille Canal. There's probably still a little bit left as well.
I can use this boat to reach the Seine. As soon as I am on dry land, I shall return to the Cordelier convent. I'm sure they are waiting for me with bated breath.
Guess we're gonna have to make some choices, no? Our final boss will definitely be the Count. For sure. Yeah, I thought they were actually going to Luxembourg. I don't think so. I think there's just back then there was that Luxembourgian quarter of Paris. Right? No? Anybody? I don't know that much about the history of mainland Europe. Besides what everyone knows. Prisoner in the Bastille. Back to the convent where all of the people have gathered. One is a mole. Perhaps all of them. It's probably Lafayette though. He does have that vibe about him.
Citoyen, I come bearing sad tidings. Monsieur de Vaucanson has passed away. I was present for his last breath in his cell at the Bastille.
Juste ciel. Requiescat in pace.
Mon Dieu, it is a cruel fate that has taken
It's your
my
oratory
dearest friend
difference.
from me today.
Eugène. Ce pauvre Eugène.
Are you guys excited at all about the new
Such a horrible
Assassin's Creed
Was he
announcements?
able to tell you something before he passed away?
No, nothing.
How unfortunate. We are lost.
Must we resign ourselves to this disastrous turn of events?
No, General. Every part of me refuses to do so. Eugène de Vaucanson made me make a promise that I swore to keep. Now I have no other choice than to risk everything.
What are you thinking, Aegis?
I'm thinking of making my way to Versailles.
Eh bien, you should know that I also plan to go there.
You don't even think about it.
Ma foi. What have we got to lose? Our lives? At this point, you must admit that they're not worth much.
I agree with the Marquis's resolution. We must take into account everything that Aegis has done to
Palace
further
of
the King's
Versailles.
plans. The time has come for us to put ourselves at her service.
Ooh,
Not so fast, mon ami. Let's not rush into anything.
fuck you.
You'd have to be mad to want to be part of the battle to come.
What?
Those who agree to take part in this strike will need to keep a low profile until Aegis has cleared the way.
Wow.
As for you, madame, I do not know
You
what
cowardly
arrangements
fuck.
have been made since my last visit to the Queen, but I found the area around the North Wing to be particularly empty.
I don't trust this guy as far as I can
We
throw
should
him.
launch the attack. If fortune is in my favor, I shall be waiting for you at the Petit Trianon with something to help you make your way through the gardens.
It's a trap.
As for us, once the automats have been defeated, we will enter the palace to seize the king.
Hey, how's
and
it
the
going,
count.
Megan? Hello,
Is
how
that
was your
your
weekend?
plan, Monsieur le Marquis?
It is, monsieur.
We are about to take the small step that separates audacity from madness.
Are you ready to take it, madame?
Citoyen, I cannot escape my obligations. It is in my very nature to honor them. I kept the promise I made to the Queen to find Monsieur de Vaucanson. I am now bound by the oath I swore before my creator. If I go to Versailles, it is in the hope of rescuing Athenais. I think also of all that remains to be done in Paris. And what's more, you demand my help to make you masters of the king.
It is a
Ah,
heavy burden that we place on your shoulders. But once again, we must leave it up to you.
Take your time, Aegis. A hasty decision could lead to disaster.
We will be ready for action when the time comes.
Pour la nation!
Et pour le royaume!
for the nation, for the kingdom. You can see there's a bit of a difference already. Checkmate. Oh, I like that. No doubt we're one of these is definitely. I can't trust Lafayette. I just cannot. That guy screams of, you know, selfish intentions. That is a damn nice fucking gun. Holy hell. Cool. There's the map of Paris. There's the same one that we use ourselves. Oui, Pepe. Yeah, these little ordinary oil vials, they're non-replenishable, but I have so many of them. They're great, and then their heals over time. They have been detrimental to my survival. Let us go. Let's go. I assume this is your chance to like finish off side quests and all that goodness. But I have one big thing on my mind. Yeah, look at them. Question the people. El Monsieur de Mont. Is it gonna help at all? I suppose I can have a chat with the one last time. Go on, so. Talk me feckin' ear off.
General Lafayette,
Do you need help, Aegis?
Rumors of betrayal. Ah. Do we come out with it outright like that? I always say, like, this will be interesting, his answer, right? But this goes true to life as well. Anyone who accuses another usually has something to hide themselves, you know? That's when, you know, when you get those age-old questions of who is the liar, who is this person, who's that person. It's usually those who, you know, will defend themselves but then accuse another that usually are in the wrong, huh?
General.
Let's see what he says.
There is an alarming rumor about you going around.
Huh. Just one, is there?
You are accused of having delivered the troops who had gathered in the Place Dauphine over to the king.
Calumny. This is nothing less than vile slander. I am the staunchest opponent of the bloodthirsty tyrant who claims to rule us. What's more, I did not call for the uprising. The National Guard came together on their own. This was the work of soldiers who rebelled and called on the people to rise up and defend Paris. It was only after they had gathered that the troops asked me to lead them. Alas, I was too late. But tell me, where did you hear this rumor?
He wants, we tell him, he wants to see who the snitch was. They'll end up all killing each other. Tell him it was Murad. I'm not going to tell him. That will serve no end.
I do not know. Rumors come and go.
No matter. It's of no importance. I know my enemies, and the day will come when I shall make them pay.
See, I don't like that idea.
Goodbye, Jenna, and down with the...
Well,
he comes off as having a personal vendetta here. I don't enjoy this at all. One of these little shits. In my own personal opinion, I wouldn't trust the priests as far as I could throw them, but anyway.
I found a note from a carpenter addressed to the workshop of a certain Joseph Balsamo.
Well, I've never heard of him. What does it say on the note?
It's just a delivery note. But the address is near the Tuileries.
You should go there without delay, Aegis.
Yeah.
Goodbye, and may...
This is why half the side quest wouldn't proceed anymore. They had left them all for one last thing.
You, Aegis?
He's got nothing to say.
Goodbye, vive la...
If that is your deed, then so be it.
That's my own personal misgivings, though, about the church.
Citoyen Raymond.
Can I help you, Aegis?
Actions. Club de Massiac.
I went to the Hotel de Massiac as if what I discovered go. The club's members have no intention of merely depriving their slaves of rest. Rather, with the tyrant's support, they plan to replace them with automat harvesters. Naturally, Cagliostro, that cur, is behind this.
Damn.
Ma foi. But such a plan would certainly only
She's
improve
so
the lot of these
emotional now. It's great.
You are mistaken, mon père.
I think that's really clever
If
of
the
them.
planters get their way,
I know it's something
they will
that
have a greater need of slaves than ever. Only this time,
they
they
probably
intend to slaughter them to
should have
power their
made
machines.
Quelle abomination!
you know, should have made a
4
bigger
days
deal
ago,
about. People have probably missed
Paris
it,
Guard
you know.
captured. They were to be sacrificed as part of an experiment to test
Good
the
lord.
effectiveness. Luckily, I was able to prevent the massacre.
Where are they now?
In a place they call the Dépôt des Noirs. I don't know where it is. It bears the inscription Tour du Diable.
the Devil's Tower
Jesus.
is a prison in Vincennes. Within the...
That's 3
Let me guess. More fucking side quest, bastard.
Citoyen Lavoisier.
What can I do for you, Aegis?
Goodbye, and down.
Okay. Yeah, there's so much more emotion in her. Holy. It's impressive. The voice acting was so, on
Citoyen
purpose,
Bélier.
very robotic.
Mademoiselle.
Now look at it.
Well, what news?
Okay, not all of them have.
Goodbye. Vive la...
Probably only like 3 big side quests. Finish off. Robespierre.
Citoyen Robespierre.
Madame,
Popular uprising.
Is your plan to arm the populace going as planned?
oh, far from it, Madame.
Of course.
Even if they were armed and formed into battalions, the Patriots would not be able to fight.
Why is that?
Most of
They
the strategic
suck.
points in the city are inaccessible.
A strange
They're
illness?
seized by an irrational fear. One so great, this makes it impossible to do anything.
Okay.
Any attempt...
The locations you meant the statue hold...
That's right. From what little I...
Another side quest. Alright.
Now, you it follow.
Unfortunately.
Come now, no metal is industry. If we knew
Oh,
what these
I'm broken now.
we'll start by poking. That's where the automats.
Goodbye and death.
Death to the tyrants, and then all the NPCs have to find their way back to their chosen spots. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Origins. Kind of know our origins now, don't we? Alright, do you think it being so robotic will make people drop the game? No, because it's done on purpose. There's been a lot of bad voice acting out there. But I don't think it's necessarily bad, it's just meant to be emotionless, you know? But now she's full of emotions, she has outbursts and everything, it's really cool. I don't think there's much that would make people drop this game. The only thing I can think of is bugs, you know? There is some nasty bugs. There's no lie about that, but I'm hoping they're working on it. Has been a couple of updates already. Whenever I see a bug on console, I usually triple that for the amount that would be on PC. It's just the way it goes. Just the way it goes. PCs are so very fickle, you know, because when you're making a game for consoles, those you know what you're building, you know, and they're never really going to change, you know. It's always going to be the same GPU, CPU, and memory bandwidth, you know. PCs aren't like that. Holy bollocks. You've got people like me who've got 10-year-old PCs that are trying to run games, and you got people that are getting their hands on the 40 series and the 30 series, you know. And then you move on over to the Linux side of stuff, you know. So yeah, building for PCs, I think, people might think it's super easy. I think it's fucking hard as anything. And then introduce so many strange models like Switch and Steam Deck and mobile in general, and having your game having to scale down and scale up so fast. Thank God for so many great programs out there to just make it as light as possible, or fantastic engines like Unreal and Unity, you know. Like, where the hell would we be without them? I don't know, because they are the building blocks of everything we know. Here we go, back to Versailles. I'm kind of on a mission now to finish it. There's definitely side quests to be done. Warning, once you travel to Versailles, you'll no longer be able to travel to other levels. Yep, let's do it. Let's do it. Creating a save game for easier access to future content. Cool. Thank you. Look at that. Talk about bread and butter. That's what's known as future thinking. Instead of games going into New Game Plus and forcing you to play the DLC in New Game Plus, which is horrendous. Because DLC are always notoriously harder. Add that to New Game Plus, and you get back into a game after, you know, 3-6 months. Makes it unplayable sometimes. There are a lot of interchangeable parts to PC. Yeah, dude, for sure. And they have to try and make all that work. Christ. We're finally here at the Palace of Versailles. Beautiful, beautiful. This place is the size of a small town. Truly incredible. You can only imagine the beauty of when the people stormed this place to take Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI into the custody of the people, so that they may be punished for their selfish ways. I wasn't expecting them to be so bright. You can see these are truly the royal guards. They're all in porcelain, very much like Aegis herself. To me, that says all you need to know about the difficulty here. Come on, bitch. I think they did a great job on the transforming weapons. If ever I wanted a game as close to Bloodborne as you can get in terms of weapons and all that, they really nailed it, you know? They didn't just say, we're taking a page out of this book. You know, there's so much love there. I love the setting as well. I think you can do a lot of great things with Victorian settings as well. Different times for sure. Stinky times. A lot of fecal matter on the streets. A lot of unwashed people. I would cover it up with all manner of nasty stuff. Look at these things. Very well done. Great developer, you know. Definitely, just like Piranha Bytes, embody the idea of Eurojank. So, you know, the bugs was fully expected. None have impeded my progress or anything like that besides the odd crash, which thanks to the newer consoles is just like whippersnap straight back in there. So, yeah, have not impeded on my enjoyment of the game. I had seen people have horrendous FPS drops, which I have not seen. We've had a couple of stutters, a couple of audio stutters, which half the time I believe is me Elgato. But anyway, yeah, I have not seen those FPS drops. I saw people post on Twitter, horrendous. Like I'm talking like 3 to 4 frames a second. Freeze frames. So I've been semi-fortunate when it comes to that. But that's the thing about bugs, you know. Very rarely are they easily replicated on different systems. Even then, that's why I like bug reporting and all that is so important. I just wish, this day and age, I wish we could create some kind of an app. You know how much I hate apps, but some kind of an app or website that is for dev feedback and bug reports and all that. I know you can do it on all of these developers' websites, but it usually gets to the wrong people. Community managers will have nothing about bugs, you know.
But how could he have managed to make it out alive?
And like achievement and trophy hunting is, you know, more popular than ever, I would say. So you have an awful amount of people who will go to Twitter. Motherfucker. Can't even get up off that. It's even hitting the spider. How could you? You go to Twitter about, you know, broken trophies or whatever. Does not make any sense to me. People get very frustrated about that kind of stuff. Like, damn. I suppose rightfully so, but Twitter community manager or whatever has nothing got to do with bug fixing, bug reporting. They might not even be in the same building as the people making the game, you know? We live in a world where most people are still working from home. What happens is that people just have a lot of built up anger and will do for the rest of their life. From COVID, from everything. This is why you see these absolutely insane outbursts in, you know, we call them Karens, we call them this and that, but they're just fundamentally broken. They're just, that's what it is. These people are broken. It's fucking everything from cost of living, to austerity measures, to isolation that have broken people, you know? People having breakdowns in the middle of fucking Tesco's and Walmarts and all that. Like, that's not right. That's not right. And yeah, we use them as spectacles on the websites because I think we're so shocked by it, you know? And really, we ought to help these people. There needs to be some crisis prevention, you know? Everything costs money these days. Even basic human fucking needs. Like mental health care. And that's disgusting. That's where we failed. We have failed. I watch a lot of those Karen videos because I'm just blown away by them, but it's real. That shit's real. I think it comes to the point where we're either part of one, have seen one, or, you know, are having those freakouts ourselves. Even though, you know, 90% of the time, maybe even 100% of the time, they're in the wrong, no doubt, you know, I mean, they're obviously going through something very profound and need some help. But it's another level of the online kind of shock factor versus the stigma of mental health. So they're looked at as sideshow, you know, circus acts. I don't know. It's all fucked up. Cutscene time. These are the echoes we speak of. Oh, Gabrielle.
Come back to us. My child.
There she is.
My sweet child.
Uh-oh. If these echoes are of Marie Antoinette herself, that means the boss may be a mechanized version of Marie Antoinette.
Don't worry. I'm sure that.
Eugene.
He's moving. My son. Oh, my son.
They brought their child. Oh, that's so fucked up.
He's alive, Gabrielle.
Oh
Yes,
no.
my queen, he has been saved.
So poor Marie Antoinette had a lot of oh Jesus, a lot of miscarriages.
What's going on, Gabrielle?
That's fucked up. And some died to illnesses as well. So it looks like, wow, that's, I didn't think they were gonna go there.
My child.
To try to bring them back as machines. Dude, that's so sad. That's literally like weaponizing people's grief.
Oh, my queen. The caress. Let me see him.
No, madame, it is over.
You must go to her side.
No, my son. My darling angel.
Jesus. That's so sad. Yeah, back then, as it's not wholly different now, huh? But whoever was chosen to be the, you know, a princess, you know, their first order of business was always to give him an heir, you know, a male heir, to the point of, at that point they were like forcing sex, you know, and they would like watch and it's all fucked up. They'd have all these people watching outside and all this to make sure consummation happened. Was very well documented between the two, because she just wanted a party. She was another young princess, and he was like, I don't know, like a lot of dudes back then, I think, forced into all that. Might have even been gay, I don't know. It was all a bit weird. But yeah, so there was always, so I think the first couple of kids they had were like girls, and then they were like, just had to keep having babies until there was a proper heir, no doubt. Like the way things are now, so yeah, it's very, very fucked up way of thinking, huh? So naturally that brings things like miscarriages and illnesses and all that. I think she lost one of her children. God, it might have been right before things went sour as well with the people. So that's extra sad too. You know what, like childbirth will always be a miracle. No matter how good we get with technology, it is still in the hands of Mother Nature, right? You know, we've gotten better at this and that, but still things can go wrong, things can go right. It'll always be just a miracle of nature. Let's see, is this a boss? Are we here already? I think we might be heading over there. And yeah, there's a lot of things got to do with childbirth and that we still don't rightfully understand. And a lot of it comes with the after effects, you know, postpartum depression, or even worse, you know, the sadness of losing a child, or miscarrying as well. Like, there's so much grief that goes on. It changes a person forever. Yet it's all very stigmatized, and you're not meant to talk about it and this and that, you know. That's not right either. And that's when you hear those horror stories of mothers killing their children and all this and that, and it's just, wow. Yeah. Yet people just still won't talk about it. Not talking about something only ever compounds the problem. It may take years or decades, but it will come back to haunt you. It's good to talk. General Defalet. Where you at, bitch? Yeah, this is gonna be a big last level because the Palace of Versailles is absolutely massive. Oh man, you know what? I really would love a cheeky update for that air dash. Jesus. Air dash is in desperate need of a couple of frames of momentum. I don't think I'm gonna make that. Jesus! That just should not be happening, but anyway. Still got me. What? 360 no scoping, motherfucker? No. I'm starting to think it's not even doable. Pièce de résistance. It's a nice idea, but yeah. It's definitely lacking. Should be lacking. Where'd you come from? Oh shit, they're all coming up here? Nope. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do there. Or maybe you gotta jump from up there, I don't know. Well, lads. I've no wanting me to fight this big guy. There's just no wanting me. No. God, it's horrendous. Just no momentum after you do it. You have to ask yourself, what the fuck was the point? Oh, I hate it! Wow, nice fucking tracking there, bitch. Jet to Alouette. Now, when was there another dog over there? That sucks. Why didn't you move? I just don't think she can make this jump, can she? There's no way. There's no fucking way on hell's earth that fucking works. I felt the whole way through the game that it was meant to give me a secondary jump or something, but yep. Nope. Yep, nope. Yep, nope. This gate, nothing. Sometimes the hedges have little holes in them. We may be shit out of luck here. I cannot make that jump. Cannot. What about here? There you go. It's not about height, it's about distance. You have to fall off that ledge. Good lord. Not the best laid out. There you go. See this kind of shit here? Not the best laid out jump. Hello! But, you know, the more time goes on, the more we are getting pleasantly surprised with everyone's interpretation of a Souls-like. And I know if you're not into this genre, it's never going to be for you, you know, that kind of way. But I do think your first step is always just to take a chance. Just pick your poison. I've seen people who won't touch Souls-like games and then love Star Wars, boom, Jedi Fallen Order. They never look back. Or if you like anime, Code Vein, amazing. Vampire anime goodness. And the list goes on, you know. And you will find that. And, you know, you'll learn to see that it is just hack and slash. You know? Its reputation precedes it. people that know them too well for being hard as balls games, and it's not always the case. You froze your sibling. This one's very approachable, I think. I haven't died to a boss yet. Oh, there's a little skip and a jump there. Didn't like that, did I? Oh, that sucks. How do you start with an attack? I feel like with the massive rise in battle royales and the popularity of them, I think people tend to experiment less with games. But then on the offhand, we have Game Pass and PS Plus and all that, which has been so important to the visibility of indies and, you know, more niche games for sure. I see it every day. I see people coming and talking to me about this game and that game. I'm like, wow, pound per pound, I would never have seen them to play that type of game, and there they go. I love that. I absolutely love that. Nothing brings me greater joy than hearing someone fall in love with an indie, or for an indie game to become a new meta, even if it's for a week or a month or whatever. Like that Cult of the Lamb game, you know? I love that. I love it so much, because I know no matter how brilliant a game is made, how beautiful it can be, it might never ever reach mainstream just because of how marketing works, how publishers work. And that's sad too. But we also live in a world where we are more spoilt with more games launching per day than ever. Even these numbers are even bigger than before the crash back in the 80s, and that's what worries me. I'm like,
the Petit Trianon is at the end of this path. I cannot get to it. I'll have to enter the labyrinth.
Labyrinth, you say? Come in. Petit point. So yeah, I do worry about a video game crash. I ain't so good with labyrinths. Yeah, before the crash happened, the problem I think with the crash wasn't even just the abundance of games that were releasing constantly. It was the quality of those games. This looks breakable. Things like Konami and a lot of others were shitting out games, and Nintendo tried to call that stuff back, and all the others, Atari and all those, they tried to call the release of games back a little bit. So what they would do is, like, they were like, you can only release 9 games a year or something like that to these developers. Now, if you heard that down nowadays, you'd be like, 9 games a year? What the fuck? That's what they were doing. They were just shiting them out. And what they would do is they would set up other companies, other publishers, to keep releasing games under a different name. That's not unlike what they do today. They do a little bit of that today. But it tends to be certain developers kind of splitting off on their own. But the fact remains, they completely flooded the market with not great games. In a world where they didn't even have 1/10 of the amount of gamers that they do today, you know? That's how different. And video games back then were still known as the nerdy thing, you know? And a lot of people that were buying them were just the nerdy dads for their kids. Their kids couldn't afford fucking $60, $80 games back then, you know? It was always birthday or Christmas, or the nerdy dad bringing them home, you know? Most kids preferred arcades anyway, because it was cheap, and it was a social gathering. It was a chance to show off to your friends, meet up with your girl, and see if she'd be impressed with your asteroids high score, but maybe she will be. So yeah, it's definitely different times. So it was only natural that a crash happened. A lot of people talk about Atari's E.T. game. It became, unfortunately, the poster child for the video game crash. and it's widely known about it being buried in the desert, and cartridges and cartridges of it being buried in the desert of Vegas. They actually dug it up and did a documentary about it. It was quite funny, but it was only a small piece. It probably was the straw that broke the camel's back, but it was only a small piece of what was going on. It was just pure greed at the time, because I would assume at that time they thought that, this looks like it can slide, that you know, video games is something that you gotta milk, that may not be around forever or whatever, you know. So yeah, there was a time when video games were gone. They were gone. It was Nintendo, definitely Nintendo. It brought it all back with the NES, a little game called Super Mario. Indie games, yeah, I'm telling you. Even if you only play a handful of indie games a year, but fall in love with them and play hundreds of hours of that said game, that's huge. That's huge. Because I was very much like that, you know. I think that one indie game that really captured the PS4 generation for me was Don't Starve. Like, I really had thousands of hours in that thing, and then Don't Starve Together, Don't Starve Shipwreck. Amazing, amazing stuff. I got it for like €12 or something. Like, it was unreal. Obviously, you'd say Minecraft and that. To me, Minecraft, it transcends games at this point. Clearly. I'd say if Xbox was to go under and only had fucking Minecraft left, it'd be fine. That's something that transcends games. Same with Fortnite, and believe it or not, same with GTA 5 online or GTA Online. I think that transcends, that's beyond, like, that's its own little, it's like a little town's worth of a budget, you know. It's crazy. I'm liking this little harp and violin in the background. Here we go. Another cheeky boss. Oh, they're called gargoyles. Sheesh on a shingle. I hate when ads join the fight. Yeah, so it's definitely still a very young industry. And look how far we've come. Look at Space Invaders and Asteroids, and then look at you know, Red Dead 2 and Uncharted 4 and Last of Us. Like, holy bollocks. Movies took longer to get to that. CGI took longer to get that level of fidelity. We are very, very lucky. And this is only the beginning. It's only the beginning. I well believe video games have passed movies. I think they passed movies a long time ago. In entertainment value, in fidelity, enjoyment, you name it. You name it. Storytelling. It seems like every couple of decades, TV and movies interchange with quality. Oh, that's a bit of a bug there. I think right now we're in the decade of TV being better than movies. There is some shite out there in terms of movies. Obviously there's some fantastic movies sprinkled in there, but few and far between. Holy shit. I could recommend a TV show 100 times easier than I could recommend a new movie, you know. I'll recommend old movies all the time. We talk about old movies every day, you know. Older movies, even, you know, 10, 20 years ago, but Jesus Christ, I can't recommend a single thing out right now. The last good movie I saw was that Everything Everywhere All at Once. Holy bollocks. Even just the common action movie that we used to make jokes about, the one-liners of the action hero, they are fucking masterpieces compared to the shit that's put out today. Holy bollocks, man. And if we got that bad that, you know, people are more excited about sequel number 7 of this movie than a brand new movie, we have fucked up somewhere. We've fucked up badly. If you're more excited about Fast and Furious 10 or Mission Impossible 8 or whatever the fuck it is, we've messed up. Where's the new blood? Where's the new stories? Then, sadly enough, a lot of great movie directors that are out there trying to do their thing just can't seem to get off the ground, or their movies are misinterpreted. Or there's some predisposed hate or nonsense, you know. People can say what they want, but like after fucking 9 Star Wars movies, I think I'm good. I'm almost getting to the tippy top of being good on the TV shows as well. I think we're up to TV show number 7 now, I think, of Star Wars. And that's not even counting some of the old stuff. I'm just talking since fucking Disney fucking Plus began, you know. It's out of control. It's out of control. Fuck, mate. But, you know, people eat it up, so whatever.
Foolproof.
Whatever.
Monsieur will be waiting for you at Gros Caillou at the appointed time. But I warn you, do
Caillou.
not be late.
Remember there was a cartoon about that.
I will not fail you.
Very well. As for the rest, everything is explained in this letter.
Has anyone got to play any of the Modern Warfare 2 beta?
In a week, God willing, you will be in Vienna, and the children under the Emperor's protection.
Quiet, someone is coming. Monsieur, you must leave. Your Grace.
Uh-oh. Her husband.
Monsieur.
With the Count in
what do we
tow.
owe this honor?
Mesdames, we are in grave danger. In Paris, the people are up in arms.
Ooh.
I've been informed that the rebels are marching on the palace.
What do you mean?
There is no need to be alarmed. You are to be taken to Saint-Cloud and placed under competent protection. Have your people prepare your things. You will leave Versailles in an hour.
This is the bastard. He's gonna... I wouldn't be surprised if he was a machine himself. That'd be a nice little twist.
Good heavens, my queen. How will I get to the children? Oh mon Dieu. All is lost.
No, it's not. This is where her dancer comes in. It's a great fucking story. Aegis right here was an entertainer, a dancer. You know? I don't mean like exotic dancer. The dancer at parties. Meant to show the versatility of the machines. You know what? The usual stuff. Create the innocent machines to wow and dazzle people before you create the war machines. Not unlike what we fucking did ourselves, you know. But then she quickly became her bodyguard because dancers make great fighters. They're nimble, quick, beautiful. Now she's gonna be the one to stop the Count and Louis XVI. I really do think, although he has the power, I think he's well under the hypnosis of the Count. He seems to be using this fabled little, what the fuck you want to call it? It's like a little gem or something, but he's hypnotizing people. The first person he probably got with it was Louis XVI. Here we go, Mary Antoinette and Lafayette.
Bon sang, Aegis, here you are at last. You've come at just the right time. Madame,
can we trust them?
The children. We must get going.
No, no. We can't.
Oh God.
I can't.
The children here? At the Petit Trianon?
Yes. They are upstairs in the Queen's room.
General, you and I both know what is coming. You must take them to safety post-haste.
No, I will not leave.
Post-haste and pre-taste.
Madame de Polignac, what happened to her?
Something strange is going on here.
Uh-oh.
The automats will not come within 100 paces.
The king's orders, no doubt. He wants to protect his family from his own automats.
Sadly, Gabrielle got it into her head to explore the area to gauge the size of the enemy forces. The fool. She left so heedlessly that she was captured before our eyes, and we couldn't do anything to help her.
Where did the automats take her?
They went towards the palace.
Run and get the children.
Bum, bum,
They must not
bum.
remain at Versailles any longer.
Have no fear, Madame. I will take you to a place where all three of you will be safe.
Have no
I will
fear.
help Madame de
The
Polignac.
underpants
Get
here.
to Vienna, Ned. You are her only hope.
Don't delay, Aegis. Our companions are ready to take the palace as soon as you have destroyed its protectors. I will join you when I have fulfilled my commitment to Her Majesty.
Sacre bleu. Chateau key. Alright. No problem. probably another reason for that. In some twisted sense, I'd say the court has plans for... Or the Count, not the court. The Count has plans for Marie Antoinette. Make her his own queen or some shit. This is very interesting times, though, you know. If you think about it, a people's uprising against royalty, against those in power. I don't see it too often anymore. People tend to just kind of thoughts and prayers and move on, huh? It's how quick they bow under the thumb. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I've been getting into my usual true crime.
Something has changed. The bond that tied me to the Queen.
Oh.
The force that compelled me to protect her.
Yeah, the usual true crime stuff. And there was an interesting piece on Explore With Us about it was this horrible fucking case of this childhood friend killing one of his friends over a bit of money, you know. It's always about something, right? But one of the other friends had the courage to record him while he basically gave a full confession of the crime, you know, and the cops would never have found out because they played it really weird. Try to be all friends with suspects, which never leads to good stuff. But yeah, it definitely brought up an interesting thought in my brain about would you have the courage to do that, you know? Or would you consider that person a snitch? It's hard to know, isn't it? The way I look at it is, if the person that's doing the recording or whatever, if you're completely innocent and everything and you've no connection to anything, then I wouldn't really consider it a snitch at that point. I'd consider you doing what's right. If you were like the dude's best friend or family member or whatever, it's kind of fucked up. But yeah, you would be snitching on the person then. But yeah, you do hear a lot of family or parents or whatever snitching on people. They believe that it's only in their right to put them away. So here's the dance. Cool. God, it's really like a wow. It's like a music box. You know, the ballerina on the music box. Wow, game. Wow. Why did they save the best for last? Like most people won't even see this. Might get stuck early on or something. This should have been shown like in the first hour. This is so genius. Absolutely genius. This was the reason she was built. Very quickly became the personal bodyguard of Marie Antoinette. This was to show the beauty that machines could possess. To let people let their guards down, but not realizing they were opening the door to the beast. Beautiful. Damn, this game slaps. Look at this creepy bastard. He's definitely the final boss. I can't wait to stick it to him. There's Eugene. Proud of his work. As any man would be, you know. This is very well done. Nicely motion captured as well. Oh, but there is some bugs, huh? You see.
The key, Atenais. The key.
I gave it to you earlier. Please, it's no matter. Once again, we were treated to a charming show.
A literal wind-up key, huh? This could end up being Aegis' downfall.
Much more than that, Monsieur de Vaucanson.
I'm assuming this is before he put the soul into it, you know? This was merely a robot fulfilling its programming, you know? Oh, he has plans for it already. Uh-oh. This could all turn very bad. You know, there's the winding key. Wow, so it really is like a little doll. But that may end up being, sadly, her key to her demise as well. I hope not. Hey, Jack, how's it going? Hello. How you doing? How was your weekend? We're just finishing up this beautiful Steel Rising. Getting treated to that lovely cutscene of... It's very much like a music box with a ballerina. Very clever. Nice dunk. It's been a great game. I am excited to see what else they do. I hope they learn a little bit about this combat for Greedfall 2. I felt like Greedfall's combat kind of hit a wall a little bit earlier than I'd like to admit. I enjoyed it though, but yeah. Got to the point where you figured out what works and what doesn't work and then stayed to that the whole way rather than having anything new introduced and experimenting with that. But it's all good. That can happen too, you know. That's where a sequel comes in. These look like one of the centaurs. I wonder we'll be fighting those. We fought a fantastic boss. A mechanized guillotine in the Bastille. Very famous, obviously. The execution of many, many souls. Kind of cool seeing it turned into a machine. I don't think we need to go this way anyway. Oh no, she did not want to air dash at all. Interesting. Just said, fuck your jibber jabber. Now. The Dauphine's Labyrinth. Back in we go. God, people must have left in a hurry. Still half uneaten picnics around. Wow. Okay. Definitely getting closer. Literal wall of machines ahead of us. A personal guard. I'm assuming we're just going in and out the labyrinth, huh? Unless this is led us back. Marble courtyard. Now we have the key for the courtyard. Nothing can stop us. No, bitch! I see two of the bishops. It looks like they might be turning the titans into normal enemies. That could spell disaster for me. That old chestnut. I wonder what was the first game to do that. I think it was the Final Fantasy games. Possibly Dragon Warrior. The idea of turning bosses into normal enemies. Reskin them. Something that was done out of timing and necessity. Actually ends up being, I think, a really clever tool to show how strong you become. I like it. I know a lot of people are just like, dude, that's the same enemy just with a better skin. Now he's blue. I get that for sure. I can't really upgrade anything else, so it has come down to me just pumping it into health. But that's where we are, level 40. That's where we are in the game. The Palace of Versailles. Does the labyrinth, does this maze still exist today? I've never been. Like both of these could rise up. These little machines on the ball. That was like the bishop. I wouldn't be surprised if that was our fabled enemy. The marble courtyard. Oh wow, look at that skybox. Holy god. Wow. It's like God himself has come down with front row seats to watch the show. My goodness. We should be very proud of the beauty in this game. Holy. I know it's just a skybox, but damn if it doesn't just make you stop. Woo! Hey, how's it going, Vamp? Hello. How was your weekend? Thank you for the lurk. Working and lurking, a little bit of jerking. It's a good thing. Bit of self-love. It's a good thing. This must not be the marble. Look at these beautiful gardens. Palace of Versailles. Very famous for its gardens, even to this day. Bye. Baby blue. Alright, guess we're going this way. Somebody drawing? No. Be really quiet. Do you see sign when you get jumped? Wow. God, this is beautiful. I like that her clockwork even heats up at the end. No little secrets out here? There we go. It seems like a... Whoa. Oh! There's the gargoyle. Now you run away, huh? Can't run forever. Beautiful. Can't expect more than that. I'm not great with mazes. I do enjoy them though. Oh! Here. I have fallen. But I have landed in the right direction, right? It's all part of the plan. Somewhere. Maybe. A little bit. Or orangey. Orangey, 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 orange. Damn, look at this place. Holy crap. Dang. How would you even like... You'd never even see all the rooms in one lifetime. You there? Can I help you? He's broken. Can't even go this way anyway. Peace. Looks like we might have to go this way instead. Beautiful. Can we open this right quick? Essence of a revolutionary spirit. Vive la revolution! How about now? And this is the shortcut. There. Beautiful. These guys have studied Souls Likes very well. You know. You gotta get that level design right. Every shortcut has to feel warranted. Not just a simple circle. And it has to be well earned as well. The best shortcuts are those that are well earned. Where you're right at your last breath. Your last heal. So many enemies. Just when you think you're about to give up and die to the next enemy.
The
Boom.
Estates General
Shortcut,
the
baby.
threat of rebellion. There is plotting afoot. They are stirring up the populace. Worse, they are making pacts. A number of representatives of the nobility and the clergy have taken up the cause of the Third Estate. As for my army, there is not a man among them I can trust.
Maybe he
That
was
is why
quite mad himself
I
already.
have made new arrangements for you. From now on, the Swiss Guard will no longer be protecting you.
Oh, here we go.
And who will, my love?
Take a look for yourself. Be assured you are in sturdier
That's how the game started.
Whatever do you mean? Isn't that Lucia?
Monsieur Vaucanson's dancing doll?
Dancing.
Appearances can be deceiving, mesdames. The Count has made extraordinary improvements to this automat.
Aegis, this is Her Majesty the Queen. You are now to serve her. Make sure no harm comes to her and obey the orders she will give you.
The hors d'oeuvres.
Madame, I am at your service.
That's how the game started.
He can speak. This makes no sense. This is sorcery.
Make no mistake, mesdames, it is science, which we owe to the work of the Count.
Mm-hmm.
And which will soon be made known to the entire world.
Good lord. Madness. The draining of other people's life essence. Putting it into a machine. Some delusions of grandeur and immortality. We must not play God. Right, so I have a lever. Now we just gotta... There it is. Right here? No, is this already? I have a lever that I can fix something that is broken. This might be just...
The courtyard is this way.
Ooh.
Someone is expecting me. I can feel it. I must prepare for the worst.
Cool! Can't get more marble than that, huh? Let me see what this lever is for. Do you think it's down here? Let's not jump into Hornet's Nest right away. La 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 la. I feel like I might die jumping on that. Yet I want to take the risk. Let me go. No, there's not even a door over there. Purloin. Maybe it's here? Clearly there's a broken lever somewhere. Yeah, fuck it. Smell a boss. Question then becomes, who will they choose as the final boss? Who dares try to stand up against me? It'd be cool if they use the winding key or the Count's hypnosis or something where we start to kind of lose control. I know it's kind of tropey as well, but I do enjoy when games do that. They mess around with the controls or something. It's a very easy tactic and it really does fuck with your brain a little bit. Because we are creatures of habit. We strive off memorization. Is this where we started? No way. Cool. Cool. Nope. My. You should be dead, you little fucker. Pathetic. Now, can we fix something here? No, why would it be that easy? The lever for this door. It's probably on the other side. Cha-cha-cha. Oh, here it is. Fucking blind as a bat. Absolutely blind as a bat. Good thing I was about to go off. There it is. That's not creepy or anything. we go. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Chateau Courtyard. That is very, like, Indian inspired, huh? That's like Shifa with the 6 arms, right? Holy balls. Or Ganesh, the elephant. It's random as all hell. Here we go. Aha! Face to face, finally. You're about to bear witness to our power, lowly dancer. Oh, Jesus! It's like a peacock! Cool! Bring it! Wow! Fast. Damn! Still cooler than fucking Last Jedi. She does her flip. Well now. The dancer versus the peacock. What the fuck is that? Bring it! The Iron Queen? This is meant to be Marie Antoinette. Oh, we love lasers, don't we? Damn, she's doing a lot of stuff very fast. Let's get her stamina back. Very hard to get a beat on her. Nice. Great hit there, great hit. What's this? Sheesh. This seems to be the best time to hit it. No hit there for some reason. It's alright. Take what we can get while we can get it. Very hard to get my stamina back in this fight, as you can imagine. Getting a little bit greedy there. God damn you, bitch. Oh, nice. No, no, no. That one's very strange. Very rarely is on target. That's new, that's new. Damn, the music's incredible. That's new. That's new! Oh wow, that's amazing. I was hoping she'd challenge me there. Nice. I still don't really get that one. That one I think is broken. Let's finish it. Oh, nice dodge. Damn, it's not connecting. There you go. Nice. A last attack would not connect to save my life. Jeez. Still no deaths. They got to watch that one. Yes. Yes. Oh, wow. Guessing this is, the Queen's. Oh, wow. Yeah. What's her name? Pontiac? Lady Pontiac? Queen's handmaiden. Click our bitch! She have.
You struggle in vain, dancer. You're not long for this world.
Sound very cowardly from your little ivory tower. Oh, there goes the count as well. Nice. It's not our place to kill him. Oh, wait for it.
Oh, see how the Aegis turns against its master.
There you go, yeah, he should not be killed. Not yet, anyway. And not by our hand.
You are not my master, tyrant. You never were.
I am quite happy to concede this point, but what about the Count? Have you forgotten that he gave you life and whispered the order that animates you? Look how he runs, the coward. Do you understand what he has in mind? La pauvre enfant, sleeping so sweetly. She won't be dreaming for long now.
Croissant. Athenais!
I'm thinking her being asleep in the sarcophagus is what's given life to Aegis here.
Don't move!
He wakes her up.
The time has come to set you free, Aegis. This whore's soul has poisoned your cogs for too long. Adieu, sad puppet.
Do it. No! Stab him with it. What a pussy.
Unforgiving. I don't want to die.
What a pussy. I think,
Athenais.
you should release her.
The sun is rising, and you have slept for far too long. The beauty of this world longs for you, just as you long for its light. For you are like the flowers that open in the morning. I know you, mon ami. We loved each other. Vous en souvient-il? You gave me your heart. So please, let me give you mine today. Vivez heureuse, Athenais.
Oh.
For it is happily that I leave this world.
Is this the end? Really? Wow, I think it is. Wow, we're not going to have a fight with the Count. I fully expected him to have some little weasel. Oh. Oh. The lapis. No. There it is. So that she may rise again. Aegis! No! She has served her purpose and served her country well. So there may be a republic. It made sense where they were going with this sarcophagus. Each person would have to be a vessel for these titans as they're known. That including Aegis, the dancer. So the was the Iron Queen the final boss?
Monsieur, we have the king.
It is now up to us to wield his scepter.
I don't know if that sits well with me.
In this trying time, crucial decisions must be made without delay.
First and foremost,
now the politicians move in, like parasites.
How do we do that, mon Dieu? There are automats everywhere, and they are constantly regenerated by their crimes.
We have the king. Cagliostro has fled, but he is leaving a trail of blood. I doubt he will survive his injuries. As a result, the automats are left to their own devices, with no one to give them orders and no reinforcements. And since I'm sure that Parisians will no longer venture out into the streets, the machines will soon have no more souls to harvest. Sooner or later, they will no longer be able to move, and par la grâce de Dieu, will become inanimate objects again. It's a matter of days, weeks at most.
Mais ensuite, once peace has been restored, what of the kingdom?
This is indeed a crucial issue. Leaving the nation without a government would expose it to the greatest danger.
Worse, it would condemn it to civil war.
Eh bien quoi, monsieur? Can you not govern together?
Unfortunately, the disagreements that divide our assembly run far too deep. That which we can agree is that we have been given a chance to choose the person who shall succeed the tyrant.
I believe I am the person who is best suited to exercise power. Of course, I will only hold office for as long as it takes to set up a new assembly and a government of the people.
Okay.
For the French will no longer tolerate a king. We can be sure of that.
True.
Are you joking? What have you done that would convince us to let you take down the monarchy?
Answer, Monsieur de Robespierre. You have our full attention.
I flatter myself that while I have no personal fortune, I possess the greatest treasure of all, the support of the people, and the ability to convince those who are in error.
Yes, I can attest to that. Maximilian is a just and virtuous man if ever there was one. Though I have always sought moderation and pragmatism, I now agree with him that in the case of abolition, principle must come first.
That makes so
you
dark.
know that I share your views on emancipation. It is astonishing that I am never given credit.
Monsieur, I rest my case.
Very well. We must now make our decision. I pray that each of us shall respect this decision and set aside our personal interests for the sake of peace and the common good. Who among you approves the appointment of Monsieur Maximilien de Robespierre?
Robespierre. Yep, that is the finale. Oh wow, here it is. The guillotine. So although it is alternate history, it still has the same conclusion. The beheading of Louis XVI. Are they going to behead Marie Antoinette too? She did so much to take down this tyrant. A fitting end to be destroyed by one of his own machines. Oh man, the fresh blood on it too. I hope Marie Antoinette doesn't go too.
The National Convention welcomes Citoyen Robespierre, Consul of the Republic.
The Republic.
Citoyen Louis de Bourbon, former King of France, in the name of the French people, in light of the innumerable crimes of which you have been found guilty, the members of the National Convention, meeting as an extraordinary court, have voted to sentence you to death. The sentence will be carried out on the hour. Now that justice has been done, the nation is ready to hear your last words.
Well. What have you?
My loyal subjects, since you must lead a lamb to the altar, since you must offer a sacrifice to this new France that you intend to found, I will be that sacrifice.
He's trying to make himself a martyr.
This world is, where beauty is doomed to fade and flesh decays.
Truly a fool.
I found no consolation in this world. I vainly thought I was giving our souls the gift of immortality beyond our mortal bodies. The Grim Reaper was my sworn enemy. Influenced by the most awful of men, I believed that the genius of machinery could overcome death itself. Alas, I have lost this fight, and am branded with a mark of murderer. Life, even more than the crown, was heavy for me to bear. I have suffered too long under the thumb of nature, which I despised. As a child, I saw my older brother die. I lost my father in the prime of his life, and then my mother, who was even younger. My beloved daughter did not live a year. As for my son, the first of my heirs, I unknowingly gave him to drink from a poisoned cup. I mourn the death of these poor souls daily. My death will not unite us, of this I am certain. For I, in my misery, have lost the support of my faith. So, executioner, lay me down on this board, Vertu. I will sleep now. Sleep at last, and not to dream.
Damn. It's pretty poignant. Off with his head. But what of Marie Antoinette? Lady Justice will have some blood today. Oh, the drum roll. I knew we wouldn't see it. Oh, and there we are. Okay, interesting. I wonder what became of Marie Antoinette. In history, she too was beheaded as well, which I felt was very wrong. Because even in her naivety and all that, you know, they were brought up differently. They had no fucking idea. I don't think she was responsible for the stupidity of fucking Louis XVI. I think in history, he had spent a lot of it, not just on parties and all that, but I think he had a lot of conquests, different nations and all that, and yeah, it was unnecessary. What a great game, though. What a great game. Congrats, GG to Spiders. They made a great game. A little bit of it was a great story ending, but in terms of a boss, it didn't quite get my, you know, the pain I want. I wanted to slaughter the Count. I wish he had become a machine or something himself. But in terms of an end for Aegis, Lydia, beautiful doll, saved the nation. That was a fantastic story. I don't know if we'll ever get like a, you know, a sequel or anything like that, but they did a great job. This was their first Souls-like, you know? They had made Greedfall before this, but this was, I think they did a great job. They're definitely very, very moderate. I didn't die to a single boss, but that's just me from playing a lot of Souls-likes, you know, and we did kind of zone in on that weapon, realizing that we had something quite exceptional, and it led us the whole way through the game, so there you go. But there was a whole host of amazing weapons. I thought they did a great job with that. The setting was astounding. The costumes, they nailed it. Like, you can tell from Greedfall as well that there's a very passionate team over there at Spiders, with a great love for their homeland, their country of France. So good for them. I can't wait to see what happens with Greedfall 2. I hope this game reaches more people. It is only available on Next Gen and Epic and all that, so it's going to be a little bit tougher to get into people's hands. But for Souls fans out there, you would do yourself a disservice to not play this game. It harkens back to the greatest of From Software games, Bloodborne, for sure. Instead of the gothic horror, we've got a little bit of Victorian steampunk. Beautiful. I enjoyed every minute of it. I think there is different endings you can get, different, you know, leaders of the people at the end, depending on your side quest, depending on who you choose. I think you can choose Lafayette and things like that. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought the bosses, the titans themselves, the true bosses, were fantastic. My favorite was probably that bishop. He was on like the bishop's scepter rolling around like BB-8, but he had like power of ice and fire on one hand and that weird little Punch and Judy type bishop at the top. That was amazing. And the guillotine was fantastic too. Lots of mobility for something that seemed very, very short. As for the final boss, the Iron Queen, which ended up being like a peacock with a fencer and that, it was fine. She was fast. She had a lot going on, but just really did not live up to quite. I was really hoping we'd have that creepy moment where the Count would reveal that he was a machine too. Yeah, but I thought it was fantastic. It's always tough to do a Souls-like in a city because you run the risk of everything becoming just true same, you know, very samey. You know, even Bloodborne suffered from that in old Yharnam and that. You know, once you get out into the Forbidden Forest and other places, it started to break up that vibe. But, you know, I think city settings can be really fantastic as well. You know, if they're done well, and this game really was, they nailed the architecture, the atmosphere, really worth it. And this game being a next-gen exclusive, but not having a next-gen price, I gotta say, props to them, you know. It doesn't always affect my buying habits, but if it's something like I just got off playing The Last of Us Part 1, the remake, that was €80 fucking, then yeah, I'm going to compare it to this game that has definitely more value for, you know, less of a horrible price point. It was foolish of them to release that remake at that price, honestly. But that is the Sony tax. That's where we live now. They will do things their way and their way only. That same kind of horrendous greed and cockiness is what brought down Sony back in the PS3 days, and if they keep it up, no doubt it'll happen again, but you know, we'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully they'll cop themselves on a little bit. But yes, until then, thank you for joining me for that one. That was Steel Rising. Fantastic. Hell yes. I wonder does it have a New Game Plus? I'm not sure it does, but it did grab a save before things went down. So no doubt it said that there may be stuff coming in the future. DLC, expansions, who knows? It's all up to them. I hope it does well for them because I love a steampunk environment and they nailed it. You know, I don't like fucking marionettes and that, you know, I don't like mannequins, but putting us in the driver's seat, the beautiful Aegis, they nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Holy hell. I'm going to remember that one for sure. That might be one